I could actually, well, no, it'd be easier with green screen because then you could cover over it.
Yeah.
What would you want there?
Oh, I'm leaving that 100% up to you. You can change it all the time. You can put whatever you want.
I have in the past had some fun with that. In Linux Action Show,
That's what I'm hoping.
I used to put random people behind me. Man, I really look back at those, and I'm really impressed with how good we got live green screen on Linux towards the end of last, which was a while ago. It looked pretty good, and then remote video. Like I forget what Noah and I were using, but it was pre-Zoom,
A long time it was Skype for Linux.
Yeah, and then it might have been one of the early versions of Jitsi. Like we were using Jitsi before it was a web app.
Wow.
It was early Jitsi.
Yeah. We tried a lot of stuff. We put a lot of effort into it, and it was frustrating at the time. And now it's just so easy to do high res. Well, not easy.
I still remember we ripped out the Apollo and the whole, like the Mac setup in here.
Yeah, when we went to Linux. And that was, we still have this sticker from when we did that. Thanks, Noah. All right. Is it time to start?
I have an abnormal heart rate. Well, watch out, people.
Brent's getting excited. I
have been investigating. Okay, so quick recap, real quick, is you know how I've tried to use Obsidian over the years.
I do.
And one of the problems is who has I don't understand. Like I used to think journaling was really kind of self-involved and sort of maybe too much inner reflection but then I realized my memory is so bad.
Yeah.
The journaling would have actually been really useful for me to remember decisions and the things that happened when, and really just have a little more resolution on the past. But I'm still not.
That was the same thing for me. I was like, I want that. I don't need it doesn't have to be in a complete inner world, but at least a logbook.
I've always struggled with like, what do you do with it? Like, how do you parse it later? But now we have the tools to really just dive in and find.
You don't have to go reread a journaling notebook from 10 years ago. You can just
exactly. How do I find that day that I talked about this? 5 years ago or whatever.
So I've been practicing trying a daily note, mostly for tasks and things like that. But I found that I mostly use it on the days I don't have shows.
Yeah.
Because the days I have shows, I don't need anything to tell me what I need to do. I know what I need to do, and I don't open up a task list, or I don't.
And you kind of know what you did that day anyway, because it was make the show.
I got to make the show.
You're like documenting your entire all your thoughts are on.
So like I don't use anything on show days.
Fascinating.
So these tools that are like meant to be used on the daily sort of rot on those days. Or like you'll have 2 days between, so you don't look at like the previous day or whatever. Like anyways. But I realized I could actually make the daily note work for me where I engage with it on the days I want, and then I don't engage with it on the days I don't need to, but I could still have lore add artifacts throughout the day that would give me at least some ideas.
Totally.
Right? So
cool.
Who did I send emails to that day? What got committed to my GitHub? Where was I that day? Because it has access to the Big D.
Where you are,
it has access to Home Assistant. Those types of, it knows when we publish shows and which episodes. So like all this kind of like ambient information it has about me, you can kind of do little bits of summaries. And what it does at 9 p.m. is it prompts me, is like, I'm about to, create your daily summary. Is there any brain dump, details you want to add? So I can either by voice or by text give Lore a brain dump. I have like until 10:15, 10:30, whatever it was to respond to him. I have like an hour and a half, whatever it is. And if I don't, he just closes the daily note with what he observes. But if I do, he'll incorporate it into my section. And then also he is aware of issues that are outstanding that need Chris's attention, mostly things to do with like system management. And he'll roll those over to the next day if they're necessary.
Nice.
And a few other details he'll roll over if necessary. And then he'll complete my daily note and close it up for me with my brain dump. And the brain dump can be an audio note that he transcribes, or it can just be a...
That's another nice thing, right? If you can just kind of, let me chat at you, and then you turn it into a structured little blob.
And then later they can go back through and figure out, do these things link? Because Obsidian's big on the linking and stuff like that. And building a little graph. And, yeah. And so the other thing I did is I created a really, really small skill for my agents and for open code and for Codex, because I have it all set up now in Sync Things, so I just created one spot. And that just basically lets me say, I don't even remember the prompt right now, but it's essentially like let's add this to the daily note. Let's create a summary in the daily note. Let's document this in the daily note. Those types of prompts.
Yep.
And then the session I'm in creates a human readable recap of the decisions and the things that were changed on the system, where like the repo's at, where like the documentation's at, where the project files are at, the last couple of actions we took, and just sort of that way I can like, and then of course so I have a dedicated project section. So then the skill saves that to Obsidian. So I can open up Obsidian a month later and be like, where was I on this project Wes and I were working on?
Totally.
Okay, here, and this is where I go. I can resume this session ID, all of that. And so instead of creating like markdown files in the current directory that I'm using, Open Code or Codex or Hermes, it creates those now in an appropriately labeled spot in Obsidian. And so then, and the nice thing about that is Obsidian ultimately is just markdown files on the file system. So it just needs to write a markdown file in the file system like it does already anyways, just to that location. And then the headless Obsidian sync server handles all of the syncing and all of that for the Obsidian files. So it's nice. So then it's like, as I'm working in whatever agent harness I want, I'm creating documentation for myself later on in Obsidian that will be useful.
Yeah.
I thought you hated Obsidian.
Well, if I don't have to use it.
Yeah, fair enough. You got yourself a new interface.
We'll see. I have had it go wrong on me a couple of times. I had the agents.
But you're not really trying to sync it around now, I guess?
I am again.
Jeez.
I wonder, do you need the Obsidian half of it?
Not necessarily. Yeah. No, where I like Obsidian is on the phone, and I do like their desktop app.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in like information retrieval mode, it's nice to have that GUI. It's also something the wife can browse.
Yeah.
But I could do it, and I have in the past. That's what I did before Obsidian. And what I did is I put like a little web app markdown reader on top of it, so I had a UI.
Sure, totally.
There's a lot of really nice community plugins and stuff. So if you use the app, there's a lot of nice things you can do with the data and the way you display it and stuff like that.
I was just wondering, at what point were you sort of agent firsting it, or like you mostly used it via them,
right?
And then sort of agent memory has a lot of overlap already with.
It's an interesting
knowledge graph that Obsidian's doing. So you're sort of duplicating it.
It's like if you had a bunch of information in Obsidian, that it becomes a valuable source of knowledge for the agent.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already down that route.
Right.
But yeah.
And it's maybe a little more future-proof than agent memory, maybe.
I would argue the opposite.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, because the agent memory, you have a lot of flexibility on the system, how it works, you get to choose the memory provider, you get to choose what kind of indexing it
And if
does.
it's ultimately just Markdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And while Obsidian is just Markdown, the search stuff and all that is in the proprietary app.
The community
all the agent
plugins
stuff is open source.
And the community plugins are all kind of like proprietary in the sense of like they're not traditional Markdown formatting.
Right.
They're code in the doc, but they're code specific to the community plugin or whatever, which are very nice. But the agent really saved my bacon. I had some like IRS documents that were, remember when I had problems with Obsidian losing attachments a while ago? It's almost burned me out completely. Yeah. Well, it turns out one of the attachments that I didn't know I had missed was an important IRS archive of documents related to.
That does sound important.
Yeah. And so.
In Obsidian?
Well, it's complicated, but yeah, there's a separate business vault that uses like a special kind of encryption they offer. And I was having it go through and see if there was duplicate files or, things that were missing links and stuff like that. And just kind of not doing any changes, but just like a general, like, do you see any issues here? And it's like, well, you got this note that's referring to this attachment that looks pretty important based on the file name, but the attachment's not in your vault. Like, what? Yeah, this note here, this super important IRS documents.zip, that zip file is missing.
Oh,
what?
Gosh.
But, because I got everything wired up in a safe, agentic first way, because safety matters, I just still think, all right, well, go check my Hypervibe workstations, see if any of them have a backup vault that has that zip archive in them. And sure enough, it did. And it found one, and it restored it and put it in the vault for me. And I was like, wow, that was really, really useful. That just paid for the month's tokens right there.
Did you find out why it went missing? Because I
think when I was documenting all of that stuff, this was a while ago now. This is probably like early in my Obsidian. I think the sync had broken and I didn't know it or something. Because it's like when the sync breaks, there's a little icon that goes from green to purple down in the corner. And maybe I just didn't know back then as an early Obsidian user. Because the whole rest of the interface is purple. Better. So
yeah, exactly. Like, oh, everything's good. It's default.
Yeah. Yeah. But now I have backups. And
I'm just so surprised given how many times you've been burned by Obsidian, you're still leaning into it.
Well, I mean, it's a thing on top of a bunch of Markdown files, which is a very compelling way to build a program. So they got that right.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, right, they have a good mobile app. They have a desktop app. They have.
That's the thing. If I were only interacting with this documentation through the agent, I don't think it'd be necessary. Or if I had, a really nice, I don't know. It's nice also in this day and age to have an app for this stuff and not have to use my web browser.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, All right, we actually did, that wasn't in the pre-show. We just...
I got to burn a couple, right?
You do. That's actually, for some reason, structurally required.
I don't know why. It's weird. Somebody should do something about that, Anyways, all of that was to say, which I don't even think I did say, is this morning I started looking into how to, even though I don't have a Mac, feed Apple Health data into the agent. Because I think getting information about my sleep and all of that could be an interesting thing to add to the doc just for historical analysis. Yep. So add that to the daily note, is what I was thinking.
That's funny. This week I was just looking into how I could extract all the Garmin stuff for the same reason.
Oh, yeah, sure. The Garmin probably is even easier. Although, you would not believe some of the apps I found.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the only downside is the Apple Health data. So all of the apps on iOS that track health information, they don't save it to their own databases. They save it to the Apple Health database, and then
which makes sense.
Apple is, you have divvies out rights based on user permission and stuff like that to different apps and stuff. And one of the requirements / restrictions of using Apple Health is that no app can extract the data from Apple Health when the screen's locked.
Oh,
so the only way to sync data out of Apple Health is to have the screen unlocked.
But there's an app for that, right?
Yep. There does seem to be a workaround that involves Home Assistant and MQTT.
Yes. That's awesome.
That will wake the phone up in the app and somehow, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, so it looks like I have a couple of options to get the health data.
Need like a jiggler for your iPhone.
Yeah, really. Fake face. Need a fake face.
Fake face.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
Just a photo, right?
I mean, so how long ago did the Apple Watch launch? How long ago?
Quite a while now. What, 5, 6, 7 years?
Oh, it's got to be maybe even longer.
Yeah.
11 years ago. 11 effing years. And even though they've promised multiple times, the apps don't really run on the watch. There are a couple, but for the most part, all the apps are just front ends to apps on the phone. Still, 11 years into it, and you still, so if I could just run the freaking Health Sync app on the watch.
Yeah, it would work.
I mean, maybe I can, but as far as I know, I can't. Also, while I'm griping because Monday is Apple Day, how long ago did Apple release the iPad? 16 years ago. Jesus.
Wow.
It's a long time.
Okay, at this point, it's already shame on them for making a super powerful computer with M-class processors in it that you can't compile software on. 16 years into it, and you can't build apps for iOS on an iOS device, even their most powerful iOS device. And the only reason I bring this up is because your boy here brought this criticism up like a decade ago on Coder Radio. Like, it's crazy that it's never a true independent computing platform until it can build its own applications.
Right. Otherwise, it's pure consumption.
It's a slave to the machine that can build applications. So in the scenario, the Mac will always be superior because the iPhone is dependent on the Mac. And so
that's how they like it, though, I think. Maybe that's by design.
I don't know. Then why do they do ads like this is the new computer and what is computer?
I mean, they took the brains from the iPad and put it in the
Yeah, really, dude. The MacBooks are just blown up iPads. The things you could
that's a
run
good
Mac OS on an iPad. People have hacked that. My point is, shame on them. And if they don't, tomorrow release Xcode Vibe Edition or something where you can build an iOS app on the iPad, then double shame on them. That's an embarrassment.
Do that.
Well, maybe once they make a little money, they'll be able to afford to hire a developer or two. I don't know what it takes, but it's 16 years. And the thing is more powerful. A current iPad is more powerful than any computing device in this entire household.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
And we're doing live shows and
I mean, we were just the other day wanting an easy way to run like a OpenAI style chat completion server off the running a local model on there.
Yeah,
because they got fancy
accelerators. Why can't I run LM Studio hosting an LM on that thing?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I do that? Because you can't build apps. I don't know. It's just crazy. And then the thing is the platform you more likely can do it doesn't have the hardware ecosystem to make it tight enough worth doing. So there's that. All right, let's do a pre-show.
2026.
Anyways, Apple Day tomorrow. Isn't that exciting?
It's very exciting.
Do you have any other predictions?
Oh, that wasn't a prediction.
No, I know that was like a hope and dream, but
Well, you don't expect an iPhone because that's not when they do iPhones. So there's that. I would really like to see them do a new Mac Studio that goes more than, I don't know how much RAM. I'm thinking the Mac. I'd like to see a lot more RAM in all the Macs.
Big RAM monsters.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see them just sort of up that.
Hot RAM summer.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
I would imagine they must be planning to go all in on local LLMs, right? Because that's clearly their sweet spot right now.
You would think so. Yeah, they're set up for it. They have the hardware.
I really hope
the
it doesn't.
library is already right towards accelerating on them.
I could also see it sliding towards Siri now connects to this. Siri can do this now. Siri connects to this. Cancel.
Oh gosh.
Well, you got to lay all the foundations so that all that's accessible when you got their glasses on your face.
The other thing that is noteworthy about this WWDC is Tim Cook has announced he's retiring, and they've announced who the new CEO is. So who hosts WWDC? Do they say goodbye to Tim? Does Tim just host it like he always does because he's still the CEO? Does he say goodbye at the end? Those things I think are worth watching for too.
They keep it like slightly more this direction, but it's funny how like these are not developer events.
No.
They're just product launches.
No. The way Apple does it is the keynote is for the plebs and the press. And then they have the like an hour later, if you're a if you're a WWDC attendee or an Apple developer,
it's like their version of breakout rooms.
You can. They have another stream,
right?
I forget what they call it.
Yeah, there is a bunch of like developer content that gets released.
Incredible amount. But though they do have another keynote, if you will, that is a technical version, and I just can't remember the name of it right now. But they do that, and it's not. They don't put it up on like YouTube and.
Yeah, right. You probably have to sign in. I've looked for it before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it's at least in previous WWDCs, they have pumped out hundreds of videos.
Yeah, videos and like a bunch of
docs.
Library API docs for whatever.
They really go
are.
all in. It's the people. The thing is working at Apple, you must spend 35% of the year prepping for WWDC. That's Apple. And it must be such a, what do we call our live stream? What do we call what it does for us? It's like a, what do you call that?
I know what you're trying to
get
get
the deadline kind of thing, so things have to get done.
It's like a focus point, yeah.
I think that's what WWDC is for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one would be the shipping day in the fall.
Right. What have you now promised at WWDC?
All right, we're going to get started for real. That's all warm up, but that means you still have a chance to get in our chat room.
3 shows to go? How many shows?
I know, right? So get in our chat room, help us bang suggest, because it's a big one, and we're going to need titles for this one, and also the Mumble Room is open. But with that, I think we get started, boys. How you feeling? Yeah?
Yeah.
Feel like starting is a thing we can do.
I feel like starting. Here we go.
members never talk, but when the coop comes on the land, everybody claps their hands. Cluck, cluck, ping, ping, hear that little server sing. Blink, blink, route, route, jupes can leave and traffic gets out. But Chris built a box out there. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey. Oh, droid humming in the air. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey. Switches stacked and cables run, and OKVM for when things get fun. Fan kicks on when the temps get mean. Cleanest barn rack you've ever seen. Cluck, cluck, ping, ping, hear that little server sing. Blink, blink, route, route, jupes can leave and traffic gets out. But Chris gave the coop a name. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey. That chicken is the DNS game. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey. How Sansa's frigate seas go to earthy streams with ease. Coral crunches through the night. Every head is framed just right. Cluck, cluck, ping, ping, hear that little server sing. Blink, blink, route, route, jupes can leave and traffic gets out.
Hello, members. Welcome in to episode 670. It's your bootleg. Getting set up for a big show. We worked on a project since Linux Fest Northwest.
Wow, you're right.
Yeah. So the results we'll share today on the show. I think it's going to be a good show. Hello, Mumble Room. Hello, boys. Nice to have you here with us.
Nice to have you.
Thank you for being here. Hello up there, quiet listening. Hello, Brantley. Hello.
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 He's coming in good today.
Yeah.
We got strong Brantley. I like that.
Only had one breakfast.
Oh, wow.
We'll have to fix that.
We're gonna have to fix that.
Open sources watching grass. Cluck, cluck, ping, ping. Hear that little server sing. Blink, blink, route, route. Jupes can leave and traffic gets out.
You like my little ditty?
I do. I liked it.
Little hint.
Route. That's
Yeah.
a fun one.
The ping gets out. All right, so
Or jibs.
I believe we are going to be delighted with a famous story time with Monsieur Brantley.
Stay a while and listen.
So, what's going on, Big B? What's the... I mean, first of all, I'm very curious on the squirrel. I don't know if these two things are related, but I'm curious on the squirrel fathering. But what's going on? What's happened this week? I imagine the beard
Which
isn't
one do you want to
shaved.
hear first?
The beard isn't shaved, so I'm clocking it's been a week.
Long week over
yeah,
there.
I'm clocking it's been a long week.
Yeah, but you also convinced me to give it a shot. So
Oh, good. Are you good doing it?
it's your fault. I'm trying it.
I think he
We'll
should.
see. Any tips?
Did you,
Because I
did
don't
you
know
see
what I'm
him?
doing.
Did you see him the day he showed up for? I don't know if he did. I don't know if you saw him the day he showed up for Linux Fest. He hadn't shaved for a few days.
Right.
And he looked real handsome.
Uh-huh.
And I and I still thought about it. So I mentioned it to him a couple days ago. I was like, when you showed up, you look good. Like good enough that I don't remember much,
But it stood out.
it stood out. So okay, all right, good, all right.
Didn't
that's-
have to
It's the
journal that
Tribal
one.
Brent look.
I don't think that's what we're here to talk about, though.
Oh, you don't? Okay. This is the no tips for me or anything? No?
It's doing good so far. Keep it going.
Yeah, you asked about the squirrels. Squirrel's doing good. It seems to escape its cage every day without somehow
Sure.
my parents figuring out that it's loose in their house, which they really, really, really don't want. So don't tell them. But otherwise, going very good.
Okay.
Squirrel's alive. So, that's a good thing. So
Right on.
that's, I don't know, it's kind of routine now, I suppose. So that's a good thing.
How quickly
so
they
that's your
become
squirrel
wild
update,
animals. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Only another 10 weeks of this, so we'll see. But the thing I wanted to sort of announce, confess, talk about is I finally did a thing this week
Oh.
that I'm embarrassed I could never wrap my head around or never really integrate.
Oh.
And I'm here to announce that I have.
Well, this is exciting. So you like adult leveled up. You +1'd in your adult column today or this week,
Mm-hmm.
or is it
give me
like
guesses.
maybe it's a +5.
Well, I don't know. You can rank it once you hear about it. But, any guesses or anything?
Does it involve paperwork? No.
No.
Okay. Does it involve money?
Also no.
You got any guesses?
Is there a new cat?
It has to do with technology, boys.
Oh.
Oh, okay. All right. That's a pretty big hint.
You're moving to BSD full time.
No. Is it Nix adjacent or Nix related?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
You're finally using flakes.
Well, yes, I'm using Flakes, but not finally. It's been a while.
Okay. You went to NixOS Unstable. No.
Well, I've been on that for a while too. Come on.
Okay. All right. Okay.
No, think like more foundational.
It's not Home Manager, is it?
No.
Okay. All right.
No,
okay.
but we'll get there.
I know.
That was a good
Are
guess.
activation scripts involved?
They were part of getting to the final
Did you switch desktops?
conclusion. No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Why would I do that? Jeez. Well,
Chat room, you got any guesses?
Yeah,
Mumble room, you got
Yes,
any?
in here, 'cause we clearly don't
we
know.
know it's Nix related or Nix adjacent.
It also has to do with something I seemingly am perpetually working on.
You got a Nix-based Home Assistant going.
You got
Yes, that is true. Yes, that's part of it.
a multi-host Nix config going? No. No.
I mean, I do have one of those, but it doesn't have to do with
Do
this
we
project.
know anything about him?
I know it. Okay, can I get one more hint? One more. You got anything else?
One more hint.
Trying to wait for the chat room to come up with a good guess.
DNS is involved.
You switched to Technidium?
No, good guess.
You got local name resolution working on your network.
Yes, that is a big part of it. Yes, that is a big part of it.
You got something done with networking.
You switched everything to a brand new Nebula network.
Oh, almost. I almost did, actually, as part of this.
Nix-based router.
No.
Okay, good guess.
Okay,
Clever
good guess.
compiler. Good guess.
Yeah, clever compiler. Good guess for sure.
Yeah,
You're so close.
if somebody in the chat room gets it, I'll give you credit.
It is a concept that was mentioned in self-hosted many, many, many times, and I could never wrap my head around it.
Reverse proxy.
Yes.
Ah,
Ding, ding, ding.
that's great.
I have no idea. There's like a couple things that I don't know. My brain just doesn't figure out. I'm like, I know I need this. Everyone says I need this. It's easy to lots of people. Why
And
can't I wrap my
honestly,
head around
some self-hosted apps even kind of assume it. You know, if you don't, you know,
it's so true.
Yeah.
I know I'm way behind, and I'm like, God, I gotta figure this out. Sync thing was another one that like took me a couple goes at it, just because they have their own like
yeah,
way. I don't know,
the discovery and the
structure
key
and
exchange.
naming and all
it's
that.
so
Once you
different
figure
than
it out, it's fine, but-
Dropbox or Nextcloud.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense once you spend enough time with it. But anyways, so now I finally on this box behind me, which is like that new server I've been building.
That's awesome.
Reverse proxy with like, I can type in domain names and they're all like
That's nice.
hierarchy of domain names. So I do machine versus location and stuff to a domain that I have.
And then are you adding
geez.
those to your local DNS? Is that what you're doing? So you can just like have.
I actually am using Nix to automatically update some like wildcard entries in Cloudflare
Nice.
so that it's pointing to just tailscale addresses. That way I could be anywhere.
Well done, sir. That's a great
Thank you.
unlock.
Thank
That's a
you.
great unlock. And I agree with Nat 418 in the chat room. It's using NixOS to manage Nginx is such a nice, easy way to do it because the syntax is so clean and so easy to just read, understand, and reproduce as needed.
Sure is.
And it's handling like Let's Encrypt certificate, wildcard
Yes.
certificates
Yes.
and stuff. So
Good job,
it
Brantley.
feels so good.
Yeah, I bet.
So I feel like I grew it up this week.
That's real nice. That's real nice.
What spurred this?
I've been slowly like plucking at this server because I want it to be full time. The server I've had here at my parents' place has been a T61 that the fan keeps making noise for the last year and a half, like every once in a while, and it's just begging me to replace it. So every couple days, I just poke at one. I have this giant to-do list of things I'd like this thing to have. I keep poking at it, and this was one I was like, I'm getting enough services now. I'm tired of inputting ports. I got to figure this out. So
Nice.
that's what spurred it on.
That's exciting.
So I feel like, I don't know, I'm a new man.
So what did you, is it Nginx? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I tried with Caddy, but I couldn't get there. I think partly because I guess you could do TLS certificates in Caddy itself with like a plugin or something. And
That's built right in, one of their selling points.
Yeah, but I guess that doesn't work nicely with Nix for some reason. Or I couldn't get it to work, or there was some issue or something. And so I was just like, just use Nginx. Like, it's so Nix integrated at this point. So.
Yeah, true.
Reverse Brentley.
Just use that. I mean, reverse Brentley.
That's good.
I mean, I don't really care which reverse proxy I'm using because I don't really know what I'm missing or not from the like. It just works. Like I'm using such simple functionality of it that it's totally fine.
Right. You're mostly just having it respond to the right host header.
This
and
is
proxy to the right internal part.
And
right.
Nginx is just fine for that.
Totally.
Well done, sir. That's exciting.
Thanks. Yeah, proud of that one.
It feels
I know it's been like should have did it 5 years ago, but whatever.
It's nice
good to
because everything feels nice and smooth now. You know, you can go to names for stuff. It's easy to remember.
Yeah.
That kind of
Well, a part of it was also like I'm going to get some family members to use these services, like image and stuff. I want them, and I was like,
now he's putting on a show.
Yeah, it's easier to just have them get them on the mesh network and then have them just go to the name.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go.
Well done. All right, how about a little news? Ubuntu 26.10 to begin laying the foundation for context-aware desktop and other features. Michael Larable had this over on Phoronix, so Ubuntu 26.10, due out in October, along with GNOME 51, and all the other package updates we come to expect. The big item everyone's talking about this weekend is the context-aware desktop for Ubuntu. Okay, context-aware desktop.
Yeah, what does that mean?
As they put it on the discourse, quote, the focus is not simply to add AI features to Ubuntu, but to build an operating system that can better understand and assist users while remaining aligned with Ubuntu's values of openness, privacy, and user choice. Within the Ubuntu desktop, this work takes shape as the context-aware desktop. Our vision is not a chat window bolted onto the desktop. It is a desktop that can understand the user is trying to achieve and assist, or what it is trying to achieve and assist, and accomplishing it by combining information from applications, service-I, and desktop environment itself. Now, that's interesting. I think they're making a tactical mistake. I mean, this next thing's a very good feature. Here's what they say. We'll get a hint. This is kind of maybe one of the first ways we're going to see this land. As part of this effort, we are also exploring voice interaction through on-device speech-to-text engine integrated as a native desktop input method, providing a foundation for fast, private, and offline voice interaction. The reason why I think that could be a tactical mistake, depending on how they deploy this, is because on our show and other places, they've already committed that these AI features are going to be as much as like modular snaps as possible. So it strikes me that this might not be that. This might be more of an accessibility feature that's just built in because it's all local and it's voice to text. And
I think they might tie it in still with the snap.
So, but to me, I'm okay.
I think you
and
turn it on in accessibility.
And if it's not on by, then we're good.
Install the snap.
Then I'm good.
That is what I would expect.
If this is something where it gets turned on by default because it's not technically, you know, it's like, well, it's accessible. Like that's where, I guess thinking about it, they probably wouldn't turn it on by default just because of the resources.
And it just seems like they'd be incentivized to ship it as a snap just because that's what they've built a lot of their infrastructure for shipping these models and all that around.
Here's the other thing that struck me is it's been a while since Canonical has been building new ways of working with the desktop. Like,
that's true.
They're famous for the Unity days and the Amazon search and all that, but the thing you could say about them is they were pushing forward a new paradigm use for the Linux desktop. And then at some point, they sort of shifted gears and decided, all right, we're just going to go upstream, and which was nice, and we're gonna bring our version of Ubuntu to GNOME, and that's been nice.
We've been in this era where it felt, you got a different theme, maybe a different desktop environment, and you had to use a different install a package command if you use the terminal.
Yeah, and a nice installer and some Flutter apps that are different, but it wasn't. These are traditional apps. They weren't new paradigms, right? Like the Unity launch and search was. That was new, and this is new. Once again, after a long time.
Do you think they stopped doing it because they got kind of burned by Unity, or it didn't?
All the above, right? And I think it's interesting to see when a company gets excited about something, they start building and innovating again. And that's why I'm excited to watch them try it, even if it's not something I'm going to use. I think it's one of the nice things about having the distro choice we do. Like, let them cook.
There's a lot of other interesting stuff in this
Oh, yeah?
announcement,
What
too.
you got? What
well,
you
there's
got?
like small stuff, like they're talking about how they're moving from dbus daemon to dbus broker
Yeah.
under the hood.
Yeah.
They're setting some milestones and putting some focus on Ubuntu Desktop on Risk 5, which is cool. Flutter stuff, they mentioned shipping some Rust-based plugins for GStreamer, which is, nerdy AV stuff we kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like they're continuing to work on a package-agnostic app center,
Yeah.
right? So like that's something they're improving driver management. They've kind of been working on an updated installation experience. They're now working on a new onboarding experience. And then on the enterprise side, so they have this auth-D thing that they've been working on. That's maturing. 2610 is going to add Microsoft password and MFA authentication,
That's, for shops that are a Microsoft shop.
including administrators will be able to disable local password auth
Whoa.
for remotely managed accounts.
Crazy.
Welcome to the enterprise, Ubuntu.
They're also enabling support for PKCS number 11 smart card auth with Network Manager, so you'll be able to use something like a YubiKey to auth to a VPN, which could be nice for corporate compliance as well.
Do they say that you'll be setting this via some kind of group policy, Howard? Windows joke, guys. Windows joke.
But that just seems like that, maybe stuff we would personally prefer not to exist or definitely aren't going to use on our local machines. But
Enterprise needs, wants,
yes, and
requires.
that's the kind of thing that maybe you're not running Arch on there, but if you can at least have a first-class Ubuntu experience and still check off all the IT boxes, that can make the difference between having a Linux desktop at all.
Well, I was voluntarily doing this stuff just to use Linux, right? I started with Xandros and all kinds of things that were designed to authenticate against Active Directory and tried to implement and map NT-UIDs, or whatever they were called, to UUIDs, which were crazily different. But everything, like my user permissions in my home folder were set to what my NT user accounts,
right?
Like all of that. And the authentication was against Active Directory. And that was, so that way I could.
Ticket.
I wanted to run Linux. I was willing to do it.
Maybe we can send Brent as our special correspondent. This cycle also includes bringing the new Ubuntu Wiki platform into production, which can be consolidating desktop-related documentation under unified Ubuntu and canonical URLs, which is probably a change that's been a long time coming, if we're honest.
Yeah. Huh.
Don't know what it looks like. It's new, but...
It feels like there's one of the big problems new users, and maybe this helps, one of the big problems that new users run into is they get out-of-date information so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this helps with that? Maybe.
TBD on that, but it's something to look out for.
Something to look out for, I guess. All right, next story.
Will it take the throne from Arch?
So we covered the rsync pushback last week because there were like 8 regressions or something like that, 9 regressions in rsync that caused some people on macOS to have issues and whatnot. And Andrew Tridgell, the developer, he actually blogged for like the first time in 2,000 years. And it was, there's some quotes in here, I don't know. Did you read the post, right, Wes?
Yeah.
Did you have any takeaways before we get to some of the spicy poll quotes that we should talk about?
Oh, I don't know. There were some spicy poll quotes, but overall it felt pretty measured. Felt like a longtime software person writing from the perspective of a maintainer.
Right.
And maybe someone who had, as he kind of touches on, I gave up blogging a long time ago. I tend to just write code and hope people find it useful. So I don't think, maybe it gives you a little more insight into where his head was at as kind of all of this unfolded, especially maybe, I don't know, like we end up a little more engaged with the media side of the Linux and open source stuff just by the nature of making the show. But you can have your head down in the code and sort of not be, and it's a very different experience.
Mm-hmm. So a couple of reasons why he says AI entered the picture. He said, I realized I needed to raise the defenses on rsync a lot, and it was a huge amount of work to do. I'm retired, though my wife may dispute that, and I'd rather be out sailing than working on rsync security issues. I've researched for several AI tools to help with what needs to be done.
Yeah, he kind of mentioned that he'd been hit by a flood of security reports lately.
Oh, yeah, everybody is.
After he'd taken over maintaining rsync. So part of this was a response just to like, this code's clearly not super secure. What are we going to do about that? What am I going to do about that?
He says, I have no regrets about doing that. I didn't just vibe code, convert test suite to Python. I'm a software engineer with 40 years experience. Yes, I'm old. So I did a design first and a plan for how to validate it, which is generally, I find, the way you get the best results.
Mm-hmm.
I had used AI tools to do the grunt work because they are good at that. I reviewed every part of it myself. He also had a point, like, if you think these things are just autocomplete, I'm here to tell you you're out of date. The world of software engineering has changed dramatically in the last few months, and he's right. The world of IT security and maintaining software in the face of the flood of reports has completely and utterly changed just in the last few weeks. And we're going to play clips in a couple of minutes from Linus Torvalds, who just recently said something similar. Yes, there were some regressions, he admits. I apologize if your use case of rsync was hit by these regressions. He doesn't think he's done yet either. There's still more work to do.
And he also noted none of those test cases were covered by the existing rsync test suite.
Yeah,
or by all the manual testing I did.
That's always how it goes.
Yeah, which is not an excuse for the regression necessarily, but I mean, that is, and that's just where in a lot of this, right? Both the review side and then the test side, it was already important, and it's only more important now.
Yeah. And the good news is it's easier than ever to build tests. So, all right. So this is kind of along the same line, boys. Linus Torvalds, you may have heard of him before. He created this thing called Linux and also this thing called Git. And he does these sit-downs with Dirk Handel at Linux Foundation sponsored events. And this one was the Open Source Summit Embedded Linux Conference. So Linus had a little sit-sees with Dirk, and I thought it was good. I watched it, and I thought we should play some of it here on the show. And about the 7-minute mark or so, the topic turns to AI. And it does get interesting because every time Linus does one of these sit-downs, his opinion seems to evolve.
It does. Yeah. That's one of the things I love about Linus is he updates himself.
I like that too. But it means you gotta stay current.
Yes. You can't just play the one old clip about NVIDIA from 12 years ago or whatever.
That's a classic example.
Yeah. And this kind of comes up after, like, they have some chit chat up front, and then Dirk asks, as he does, like, well, how are things going in the kernel?
Yeah, because the new release had just come out.
Yeah. And so as we've mentioned on the show, there's been stuff around the AI policy, the security policy, and then just notes, as we've covered, of folks being like, wow, look, these RCs are kind of fat with like lots of the small little changes that seem to be from AI.
So Linus talks about what he sees as kind of the most painful part of all of that.
I have a hard time seeing everybody because I have the lights in my face.
Very bright.
But how many people here use actually AI for coding? Yeah.
Pretty much everybody.
Just about everybody raises their hand.
I have a love-hate relationship with AI. I actually really like it from a technical angle. I love the tools. I find it very useful and interesting. But it is definitely causing pain points. And the big pain points in Linux traditionally, and I suspect in most projects, have not been so much the code itself, but has been when you're forced to change how you work, and people get into a rut. People know this is how I work, and this is how I like working. And then something comes along, and for me it was like a long time ago, around 2000, I had to change how I worked because I did not scale anymore for the project as Linux was growing. And that was, I still remember it being one of the more painful episodes in kernel development, and it was literally 25 years ago. And I think we're seeing some of the same effects now with AI, where it kind of forces people to get out of their comfort zone. So we've had a lot of social issues with the AI-generated bug reports, but also code, and there's, it's not Linux doesn't scale like it was 25 years ago. Now it's, people don't necessarily scale, and it takes a while to learn how to use the tools in a, maybe responsible isn't the right word, but in a way that actually works with the community and works with the other developers. And we are definitely seeing some of the pain. One of the pain points recently has been the security mailing list, where when people find bugs with AI, a lot of the time, I mean, a lot of bugs can be security issues. And I've said for years, decades, that a security bug is a bug, but the other side of that is a bug is often a security bug, and you may not even realize it. And people think that when they find a bug with AI, the first reaction seems to sometimes be, let's send it to the security list because this may have security implications. And the security list for the kernel was overrun by duplicate reports, by tens, hundreds of people running AI, often the same AI tool, and getting slightly different results, often with the same underlying cause, but we were flooded by people sending bugs. And then you have this list with fairly few people on it because it's all supposed to be super secret. And we spent all our time just forwarding these reports to other developers who knew that area better. And we made the policy change that basically if you find a security or any bug with AI, you should basically consider it to be public. And just because if you found it with AI, 100 other people also found it with AI. And obviously that when it comes to things that really are security issues, you may not want to make the exploit public, right? Don't go and say to the world, hey, this is how, and this, by the way, I want to make it very clear, this is not just about the Linux kernel. When you find an exploit for any piece of software, don't be that guy or that gal who then crows about it publicly and say, look, hey, I could bring down this big company or whatever. Just let people know what the problem was and don't necessarily tell them exactly how to make somebody's life really miserable on a Friday afternoon, right? So we are seeing some pain points with AI, and it's not that the technology is bad, and I personally really enjoy it, but there's like the social issues that it causes have yet to be all worked out, I would say.
Yeah, and kind of in that category of things, they get to just a little bit later in there, just a few moments later, they get into security disclosure and some of those
Always
issues.
a heated discussion, especially in the kernel community.
And it used to be that we found bugs that were security issues, and we would let people, like distributions, know that, hey, you really need to upgrade, but we would not describe exactly what the security issue was. But being open source obviously meant that the fixes were all very public, but they were hard. Quite often, subtle security issues are really hard to figure out. In the time of when you have AI, you can just automate the figuring it out part. So it used to be that we'd fix a bug. We wouldn't tell people exactly what the problem was. We'd just tell them, hey, we fixed the bug, please upgrade. Most of the time, nobody would figure out what happened. Last week, we fixed the bug. Within 3 hours, there was a blog post up about the implications of that bug fix, because security people love getting attention. They really, I mean, don't get me wrong, we all do, but they often have their business that's the way they make a name for themselves, is they talk about security issues. And if you're the first one to talk about it, it's news, so you get more eyes on your blog posts. So there's a very real incentive to be the first one and to run all these AI tools and to make a big splashy announcement about how bugs happen. And I think this is how it's going to be. Yeah. And there is nothing you really can do. And I don't think, for example, that the solution is to not do open source, because if you think that AI can't do reverse engineering of closed source, you're in for a surprise. Yes. I think closed source is even worse in this respect, because the AI can't help you fix the problems, but the AI sure can help find those problems in the first place.
You just said something very important, because one of the things that I've noticed, especially with the more splashy ones in the last few weeks, is that these companies enjoy spending a lot of money and a lot of tokens on pointing out a bug And strangely, none of these came with a patch.
Wes, why did our Reaper thing quit moving there? It's still going though. I think it's because I right clicked. So that thing right there about how they don't contribute back a code. Linus responds with, that is true, although their discovery does make it easier for us to find the bug. And I think Linus, he shares our vibe on this. There is kind of a long-term good about finding these, even if it means we go through these 0-day disclosures and everybody kind of panics. It's still probably we're better off knowing about the bug than not knowing about the bug.
Don't get me wrong. This may sound negative to a lot of people, but I think it's all very good. When AI finds a bug in any source code, that is a short-term pain. But long-term is, you found a bug, we fixed it. The end result is better for it. So this is part of why I actually really enjoy AI. And again, I want to stress that the conflict is not that AI is bad. The conflict is then that there are some social choke points and social pain points that come with this new tool that we have 35 years of code, that it sometimes finds issues that we did not find. And it's going to take us some time to just work through the new issues that are found. And so I'm actually very positive about this whole thing. I think finding bugs is great because the real problem is all the bugs you didn't find.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, and so in our last clip of Linus here, he talks about the thing in the AI discourse that annoys him the most right now.
My opinion has always been that, hey, AI is a great tool, but it's a tool. And when I see people saying, hey, 99% of our code is written by AI, I literally get angry. Because those same people, I pretty much guarantee that 100% of their code is written by compilers. But they never say that, right? It's exactly the same issue. I grew up writing machine code, and when I say machine code, I don't mean assembly language. I mean the numbers, and I mean it leaves an imprint on you. I still remember LDA is hex A9 on the 6502, right?
Correct.
And it took me a while to understand that writing down the numbers and calculating offsets for branches is kind of stupid. And people had come up with this tool called an assembler. And then later on, I figured out compilers are good too. And these days, I'm figuring out AI tools are good too. I'm still writing the code. I'm just not doing it the same way I did when I was basically typing in numbers in data statements. And I'm personally 100% convinced that AI is changing programming, but it's not changing the fundamentals. Exactly the same way that you all use compilers to actually generate your code. You will all use, well, not maybe all of you, but a lot of people will use AI to generate the code that the compilers use to generate the code that the assemblers then use to generate the machine code. This is revolutionary in the same sense that we've seen revolutions before.
All right, so there is the latest Linus take. You can search for the Linus Dirk on YouTube. Just look for Keynote Linus Torvalds Dirk Handel and you'll find it. What'd you think, Wes? Any takeaways?
Yeah, it's fun to get Linus's updated takes. He's clearly trying some of these tools and playing with things,
Yeah.
right?
Seems to make the difference, huh?
Mm-hmm. I know at one point I think he was trying the Google anti-gravity. I don't actually know. I would love more details on what sort of harnesses he's doing.
Yeah,
I wonder too, does he chat with Greg much about Greg's experiments?
He implies too that Google, amongst other industry big players, are like providing them with some AI platforms tuned for the kernel too, as part of like an experiment that they get access to.
That would make sense.
Brantley, did you have any impressions or takeaways from that batch of Linus clips?
I mean, it sounds like a reasonable take. I don't know we're going to see the same like pushback on the AI stuff we're seeing in other projects.
Do you think it sets the tone?
I think it does. Like he communicates fairly well about the upsides and downsides and the challenges that the project's having.
I think it kind of takes some of the emotional charge out of the discourse. Because it's like, yeah, it's bad, yeah, it's good.
You know, remember old Linus? Would have maybe been a different scenario here. So I think it was a pretty level take, and I hope that is a little bit of guidance for some projects to just like think about it deeply. Don't be all or nothing, right? That's what the kernel's take is.
And also I think what he's doing is he's taking a longer term perspective. Like, yes, there's going to be a lot of bugs. It's a lot of noise on our mailing list right now, but a known bug is better than an unknown bug. And long term, we're going to be better off.
I think he has confidence that they'll figure it out. Like I liked how he said, like there's things we have not figured out in terms of a lot of norms and behavior and expectations,
culture.
Yeah. But I think he has trust in what they've built that they can.
Yeah, and or it's trending in the right way, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see as they have like insider, like plumbers conferences and other things, because Linus is in a nice position that he's built for himself over the years of having a lot of trusted deputies who ultimately send things his way.
True.
So his exposure to some of the raw torrent is perhaps a little bit less. I mean, I know he dips in obviously, but it'd be interesting to see how the various cohort of Linux maintainers feel about this over time.
It's always a diverse crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you know what I want to know? What? Go ahead.
The last point. The kernel has tons of resources to deal with this that other projects don't. So I could see why littler projects are really, really struggling, where here they're like, well, okay, it's a thing we need to do. And they'll take care of it. So,
all right. So if you're listening, I'd like you to call the launch and tell me if you have shifted your opinion on AI tools. If yes, call the launch and tell me what did it, where you started and what pushed you, what was the thing, what was the tool. And if no, call the launch and tell me what experience soured you on it and why you have not changed your tune. That's 1-774-462-5667. Take it away, Hank.
Well, I'm just going to make a quick call to my launch. I haven't checked in since yesterday. 774-462-5667. That's it. All right. 774-462-5667. Call now.
All right, so I have a little treat for the members.
Whoa.
So in the main show today, we'll be taking a look at a big project that we've been working on, the three of us, since Linux Fest Northwest, and PJ as well, of course, and a little producer Jason. It all took place on my farm, and we'll be making a lot of references to things on the farm. And I thought I'd help you members with a little bit more context, and I'd give you an extended overview to help connect the dots during the show, so you have a little bit more things in your context window.
A lay of the land.
Yeah. Do you like that? So here is the thing. I did do this very quickly, as this just occurred to me recently. I left out
It's not going to be in song form?
I'm sorry. No, I'll work on that next time. I left out the garden stuff because that's honestly mostly going to be a next year project. And I left out the cool thing that I'm really happy with is the new automated fan and the feeding and watering systems. So I will circle back at that at some point. And I left out the Starlink side because I thought that was sort of self-explanatory.
It's a Starlink.
Yeah.
Just, go to their docs.
But with all that said, just about everything else is in this clip for you to help kind of give you more context of what we'll be talking about today. So here you go, just for you. Okay, so members, we start with the internet connectivity. Up on the roof of what I'm calling a sideless barn, we have the connecting internet with its 7 antennae pointed towards the hills. And the hills over there have actually a cell antenna on them. So we actually have pretty good line of sight between the top of the barn and the cell antenna. We also have up there a Mesh-tastic solar node that PJ set up. And then across on the other barn, just across from it, there is a weather station that is feeding Home Assistant weather information, which is solar powered. That's over 900 megahertz wireless. So let's start with the internet infrastructure. So you can see, well, if you're watching, if you're listening, we have an Ethernet line that comes down from the barn that the boys ran. And it comes into the box that you'll be hearing more about in the show, which is where an Odroid and switches live. And there's multiple Ethernet lines coming in and out of this box. One of them is running down and powering a TP-Link Wi-Fi access point that's just been sort of quickly mounted as a test, but ended up staying in production. We also have smart lights out in this barn that turn on at night. And then next to us is the actual chicken coop. And we should probably just start with the basics. But really quickly, as we approach the chicken coop, one of the things I wanted to point out is we have cameras around here that are feeding Frigate. This is a Wise outdoor pan that actually tracks me and does facial recognition and is feeding Frigate right now. So I'll see my silly self recording later. Then that, as you approach, is our farm-built chicken coop. And we'll go in here really quickly so we can kind of talk about some of the tech. It's been a cold, rainy day, so we have low-key chickens that are just in here taking it nice and easy. So starting with the hen house, this is what's called the omelet smart door. And you can see it well, if you're watching. If you're listening, it's a plastic door, which is a little weird on a wood coop, but it actually is smart in a lot of ways. And it moves fairly slow, so it doesn't squish them. It runs up to a controller, which is connected by Wi-Fi. That's actually the brains of the operation that just sends a signal and powers it. But that's pretty simple and straightforward. There's probably cheaper ways to do an automatic door, but this works with Home Assistant too. And it's a good brand. Inside the actual hen house, first thing you notice is the WLED strip along the top. It's inside a tray, a diffuser tray, which it just gives it, you can see the LEDs more on camera, but in here it sort of gives it a more diffused look, which is nice. And it's running off of a tiny little controller that I just have powered over USB-C. And the WLED strip plugs right into it with a nice, newer, weatherproof style connection too. They've updated the connection. And then in the corner of the coop, I have a Z-Wave sensor, a Zeus sensor that I'll talk more about later. And then in the other corner, I have an arm-pressed camera, which I'm really liking. Again, I'm watching myself. What's great about that one is it's PoE. And since it's a hen house, I don't have to be too particular about the wire management. I've just tucked it out of the way so it doesn't bother them. And it does the job. And then down here at the bottom, this is a smart heater by default, I guess, because it's plugged into a smart power outlet, which I'll show you in a moment. And that smart power outlet cycles it based on what the sensor tells it. Well, what Home Assistant tells it based on the sensor. Okay, we're back outside the chicken coop and I'm at my work in progress. On top here, I have what I would like to use is a weatherproof box. It's got a seal, a gasket, mounts, very nice. That's not what I'm using. What I'm using is a crate. A crate because, well, this is a work in progress. Now, what's inside the crate is a bit of, well, anybody's nightmare, but we have a PoE switch that's powering the camera and will power more. We have my Zeus smart power strip that I love. And then this is temporary power because we have an electrician coming to wire and power and clean this up. And then once I have an actual outlet mounted out here, I won't be needing so much mess for wiring. And I'll move it to the proper box at that point. But I really like this arm crest switch. It kind of, I don't know, it gave me mixed signals on Amazon for some reason when I looked up this arm crest switch. But now that I've been using it, I like it. And even for a little basic switch, it tells you the voltage that's being used by the PoE devices. It has a little LED display that shows the voltage they're drawing. My kid's in the background playing games. On his Linux box, on his Thalio. Anyways, this box is a mess, but it's just sort of powering everything in the hen house. It doesn't have to be pretty, and it works. And this is often how I build, is I kind of make a prototype like this. Then I build what I think is the final version. Then I realize that was actually also a prototype. And then I build the final version. But it's working, and the chickens are very happy.
It turns out if you try hard enough, you can.
Yeah, so there you go. A little bit of overview. We'll talk more about the details in the show, but I just thought that context would be helpful.
It's crazy to see how much it's evolved, even in the couple of weeks since I've been there.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Most of that was just ideas at the time. So
yeah, and a napkin.
Kudos to you.
Ideas and a drawing on a napkin. It was fun. I remember those conversations starting, and all the ideas were getting thrown around. We're like, I don't like that idea. I don't like that idea. No, just stop. I don't like that idea either. And then I'd walk off for a bit, and I'd come back and I'd chat with somebody else. What do you think about if we did? No, I don't like that idea. And I'd walk away. And do that for about 4 or 5 times until we landed on something. I'm like, I think that could work. And how long have I been wanting to deploy a NixOS router?
A long time.
Yeah.
Years at this point.
It's so great. I mean, I guess we did one at the clinic. But.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Are we ready? You think we have enough people in the chat room to get a good bang suggest?
We're going to need it.
Yeah, we're going to need you to get in that chat room. We're going to need you to bang suggest. We're going to need you to bang suggest. I didn't even make an announcement in the chat room that we're live today.
Whoa.
I know.
Just sneaking in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're live today, chat room.
Mm-hmm. If you didn't know. They might have figured it out.
Megbot seems to be working, so we got Megbot.
All right.
That's what counts.
That is true. All right, Brentley, are you ready to record over there, handsome?
Ready to record?
All right, gentlemen, here we go in 3, 2, 1, record. Hello, Drew. How do you do?
Hey, Drew. How's it going?
Ba-da-ba-da-bum-bum-bum.
La, 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 la.
All right, everybody, jump in at 4, please. YouTube Mumble Room. Here we go in 1, 2, 3, 4.
4. Ooh,
All
just
over the
did it
place,
right
but
this time.
Not bad. Well, that's what you think. No, it was fine. It was fine. All right. Well, I'm going to take a quick nap, and then we'll start the show. Does that sound good to you guys,
Perfect.
or what?
Just roll some clips.
Need a cat?
I just had a brainwave.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm brain noodling right now. Woo! That was good.
I think you should capture it.
That was
Your
good.
daily log.
Oh boy, I'm gonna work into the show. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great.
Ooh, I'm excited already.
Here we go, boys. Hello, friends, and welcome back to your weekly Linux talk show. My name is Chris.
My name is Wes.
And my name is Brent.
Hello, gentlemen. Coming up on the show this week, how with a bit of hard work and a lot of amazing open source, we fully automated and secured a chicken coop, an automatic internet failover for the farm, just using Linux. And we're going to round out the show with some great booze, some awesome picks, and a lot more. It's a big show. And before we get there, we got to say hello to our Mumble Room. Hello over there, Virtual Lug.
Hey, Chris. Hi, Wes, and hello,
Hi.
Brent.
Hello up there in the quiet listening, too. Good looking.
We see you.
And hello to our friends over at Defined Networking. Go meet Manage Nebula at defined.net/unplugged. It is a decentralized VPN built on the open source Nebula platform that we love and use. No big tech login setting between you and your network. No black box relay deciding how your network works. Just fast, secure, direct, convenient control. You know, I often see people online talking about how their mesh network is the most fundamental, important piece now of their infrastructure stack. You probably want to have full control and ownership over that. And Nebula will scale for 2 hosts up to a global enterprise like it was originally designed for. It's really, really awesome and robust and lightweight. Great for home labs, great for fleets, serious infrastructure. Nothing gets the mix of speed, control, and reliability of Nebula. You can try it for 100 hosts for free. No credit card required. Defined.net/unplugged. Check it out. Redefine your VPN experience. It's better. Trust me. Defined.net/unplugged. Big thank you to Defined. Sponsoring this here Unplugged program.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gentlemen, we have a bit of an announcement to make on the show, if you will have. Next Friday, that would be June 12th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a very special live stream. Teaching my agent to manage Home Assistant. We're going to go hands-on with our agentic workflows. I'm going to go over my multi-agent setup, where I kind of split the task between the agents, and how I teach them about a new Home Assistant instance without letting them run wild and do unsafe stuff. Amongst, I think, a bunch of other stuff. I think we could talk about quite a few things. The boys will be there with me on the Friday stream, and it's going to be an open Mumble Room, and we'd love to have you in the chat room as well.
Yeah, come talk agents. Got questions? You want to share your own setup info?
Yeah, I mean, in full disclosure, part of this is like we just want to gauge interest. We want to see if people are interested. And to that end, we have created a Telegram group and a Matrix room called Agent Op Guild on Telegram and on Matrix. We'll have links in the show notes. We'll use those chat rooms during the live stream, but I think that could also be a place for the community to just kind of get together and talk about their agentic setup without overrunning the main chat room, as it were. We'll also try to do a Q&A, so if you have any questions about our setups or some of the things we're using agents for, be happy to answer that kind of stuff. And we'll just do some live setup. And the plan is to try to release a useful clip on the tubes, and then probably the whole darn thing, if it's not too big, for the members. So if you're a member and you can't make it to the live stream, we're going to try to make it available for you. Where we put a file that big and all that, we're going to work out. It kind of depends on how long the recording goes. But that is our plan at the moment. So it'll be Friday, June 12th, 2026, at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC at jblive.tv. We'd love to have you there. Get a sense if you're interested and all that kind of stuff. And I've already been brainstorming a little bit of some of the things we could get into. I had another idea this morning I should have written down.
There's a lot of good options.
Been poking at
stuff. You might have to do it more than once. I don't know.
You might. Maybe. We'll see. So join us this next coming Friday, June 12th, jblive.tv. We would love to see you there. Okay, so we had a basic premise. Could Linux save the vacation? The core problem is my RV leaves the farm, and all of the infrastructure, the internet, all of the sensors, all of the automations, the time, the weather, everything runs through my RV.
Or at least you'd like to be able to leave. When was the last time you did leave?
Well, I can't. I've built a dependency around. I literally would not be able to leave. Cannot leave. Stuck. And not only do I want to be able to leave, but I want to be able to leave and nothing dies. Initially for a week and then ultimately 2 weeks is what I figure. So that is the core premise, is we had that problem to solve during Linux Fest as, you know, a power team with producer Jeff and producer Jason and Wes and Brent. Could we come together and put all this together?
It's kind of funny. You get the chickens. You didn't really, I mean, you mentioned you didn't necessarily plan to get the chickens anyway.
Yeah.
He says
that comes with also not planning about a lot of chicken infrastructure.
Yeah, a lot. So
and not just the stuff you expect.
No, in fact, oh my gosh. And then actually, as we started building this out, my kids started moving in. So then I had to add infrastructure because they have their own buildings they're in on the farm. And so I had to provide infrastructure to that. It just the scope creep was real with this one. And we had a few things to work with. We had a Odroid H3 Plus sitting around, and we had a lot of Wi-Fi devices we could experiment with to try to extend the Wi-Fi network or do something like that. So we figured, let's take everything we do have and see what we can make work.
Because right now, Jupes was just the support, everything, right? Jupes cast a Wi-Fi net. You have Starlink and some fancy routing over there to have robust access.
Yeah, we have some cell backup over there. Mm-hmm. And then everything was just hanging off the edge of that. And the further away you move, the worse the signal got and the less reliable it became.
The whole thing comes crumbling down.
If I leave it, it's totally gone. So we thought,
this is a bit of a Faraday cage, too, if you think about it.
There is that, too. So the first thing we tried is wireless, right? We tried wireless extenders and all of that, but that just didn't work out too well, did it there, Brentley?
No, it turns out wireless is not the most dependable when you're trying, basically when you're trying to blast it into a neighborhood, let's say, of different RVs and trailers that all your loved ones are staying in. So we used probably way too many napkins to draw out various versions of network diagrams. Can we do it this way? Can we do it that way? What if we put these two napkins together? And we eventually got to the point where we were ready to pull some hardware. And that includes basically cables. We decided Wi-Fi's got to go. It's not good enough. It's not reliable enough. You know what's great? Ethernet. And we somehow on the farm found these giant rolls of Ethernet cable that were ready to go and perfect for what we needed. So we wanted to pull all of that. The only problem is it's a little bit of work to do that. But we had a whole team. So Chris, PJ got up nice and early to get the old Odroid set up.
Yep, he did.
I probably slept another 3 hours by the time he had that all nice and going.
He arrived early on the farm that morning with the Odroid in hand, loaded with a base NixOS install. It was great.
Deployment day.
You really can't ask for better service than that.
But it turns out someone had to do the physical layer So we thought about it and we had this great plan, but someone had to actually pull the stuff. So we wanted to run the Ethernet, and the problem is it needed to run to Jupes without being a tripping hazard, without vehicles running over this Ethernet. And, well, we had to do some work.
What is happening over there?
There we go.
It was hard for them to nail the old transporter animation there because technology has just come so far.
This is a classic work clip of ours. PJ's over there digging a trench, and the rest of us are
Getting
watching
the work
Star
done.
Trek. Yeah. We often have a vote, and somehow PJ always ends up being the one that has to do the trenching.
Well, he
not so
doesn't like
sure about
straws, so he gets the shortest one.
I'm not so sure about his form on that ditch digging, but he got it done.
Yeah.
I think we might have helped a little bit, and producer Jason somehow took his shirt off, but the trench got dug and the cable got pulled.
And additionally, on top of all of that, you guys also installed the Connect and Internet on the top of the barn with official, like high position pointed at the LTE and 5G towers. So there was multiple barn climbings that happened in this process too. And then scaling the barn to run the Ethernet cable as well. So there was definitely some adventures. And this, I don't know, how high up is that barn? 15? Got to be more than that.
Oh, yeah. No, it's probably
Because we had to go get that
17 feet maybe.
We had to get that super heavy ladder to even get up there.
Yeah, that was the hardest part of the whole project, was finding the right ladder to get up there so that PJ could dangle from his toenails off the roof and put some infrastructure up there. So, but then we had to consider putting all this hardware outside.
Right.
Because when you leave, there's not a building, there is a barn roof that a couple of your infrastructure pieces are under. And that's really useful because it doesn't get direct rain, but there's bugs, there's humidity, there's all sorts of stuff you need to consider. So we put the Odroid in a box. We found this beautiful outdoor enclosure that is pictured like an outdoor electrical junction box. It's water resistant, so it has nice enclosures with seals and everything, and has an internal mounting panel, which is like a grid on the inside of this thing that you can screw all the components down. I think that is the most important part of this thing. It makes it so easy.
Yes.
No hot glue in this particular build.
It also has vents on the side, which is really nice.
Yeah, cooling vents. So you can't. Yeah, using just a standard enclosed box is not good because obviously computer get toasty, right?
Computer get very toasty. Yes.
And you loved this particular one because it had a hinged cover, which meant you could just open it instead of having to take the cover off and figure out where to put that. The enclosure is about 16 inches by 11 inches and 6 inches tall. And it felt big, but once we got everything in there, it was like, oh no, actually this is just right. It's cozy in there.
It was surprisingly cozy. Yeah.
It took us a few goes to position everything so that the door could close. But we did get a bunch of hardware in there. So the Odroid H3 that we keep mentioning definitely took center stage. But we did also squeeze a few other things in there. 2 Netgear 5-port gigabit dumb switches. And specifically, one of those is for the Jupes LAN. So Lady Jupes, the RV. And the other one, well, we decided to call the Chicken LAN because that's going to handle everything that never moves. It stays on the farm. So when Jupes leaves, that's the Chicken LAN. We also squeeze in a couple other things. Chris, you had the bright idea of sticking a nano KVM in there. So having a little IP KVM when you're away and trying to troubleshoot is a fantastic idea. It's this little tiny cute thing, so it didn't even take up much room. Also, you pulled out this Coral TPU that just plugs in via USB. I don't know where you got that thing, but you threw that in there too, and we made sure there was a spot for it. And for a little foreshadowing, coming soon to the box near you, there will be a temperature sensor and maybe even a DC fan.
Yeah, it does have passive cooling. But every day that I run that with the box closed, my NVMe is overheating. The NVMe sits on the bottom of the Odroid beneath the CPU, and there's definitely some heat soak pass through. Plus, the Odroid's kind of up against a wall.
Do you think maybe that's our biggest mistake is we mounted the Odroid at the top of the box and left a little bit of space, but didn't realize it would just cook there. So that's on me. That's on me.
Yeah, I
Well,
guess
I can blame Jeff.
that's
right?
probably the biggest design mistake. We'll get into we had some other problems that came up as we get into this, but that was probably, the heat is the biggest issue, but I have active cooling, so that hopefully will work, but it is going to require a bit of a redesign because the Ethernet cables and whatnot are all in the way of the cooling. But, not too surprising. Honestly, these things usually take a V1 or V2. And
it's been a good kind of a stress test for some of your monitoring and metrics so that you can actually track it, right?
It has shown that works. And, there is besides the Odroid, there's a lot of gear in there, including them switches.
Yes, there are. You mentioned that, Brantley. There's 2 switches in there. One of them's on the chicken land side. And I think this is the one that was always kind of in the plan because it kind of establishes a little layer 2 backbone for all the stuff that it might go into building out a nice setup on the farm side. And underneath the Odroid, it comes with 2 NICs built in, right? So that already meant it was pretty easy. We could just kind of set that up. And during some of our testing, we actually didn't have necessarily a switch on both sides because the side that connects back up to the jupes and to the main gateway out ultimately just needs to be a bridge there, right? As we built this out, we decided it was probably be easier both so we could connect in and troubleshoot, and just because we had access to the hardware, bake it in there, kind of lay things out so that it was easy to see and organize and reason about, to put a switch coming off both of those interfaces. We'll get into more about why that ended up mattering.
Yeah, but the idea is nice. You have a chicken LAN and a Jupes LAN, and if you have a laptop or something, you can plug into either LAN for troubleshooting. And
you don't have to unplug anything on the Odroid itself or do any fussing. They're just open ports available.
And those 8-port Netgear gigabit switches, they're cheap enough that's okay, maybe I'll just do 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to reason about which Ethernet port are you going to plug in.
Yeah.
And the plan was Brent was going to put labels on the switches.
Right.
Which I don't know if that happened.
I don't think that did happen. And that probably is why we'll have the issues we'll get into later.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
But the Odroid needs all this because it's got a big job. You know? I mean, it's got a route between the Jupes LAN and the chicken LAN where appropriate, provide internet. It also needs to be kind of the backbone of the new chicken LAN itself, right? So you want those modern niceties like DNS and DHCP, some of the basics. And then you want to go beyond just the basics. This is some of the real goal here, right?
Yeah.
Which is you've spent a lot of time setting yourself up a robust connection to the internet as good as you can get for your mobile van lifestyle.
Got a decent Starlink connection these days.
Right. But then you also have your PepLink device, right? That can bridge to cellular.
Mm-hmm. Multiple networks, yeah.
And so if that is available on the farm, you would like things to be able to use that, right? But you need a solution so that you can actually leave, and that's where you want to fail over to that connect-in up on the roof.
Right.
And that'll be the main gateway while Jupes is gone.
That's the plan. So the idea would be Jupes leaves, the chicken LAN stays online, it fails over to the connect-in internet, backup internet connection, which is plugged into a third NIC we have on the Odroid, which is a USB NIC. So you've got 1 NIC in the Jupes LAN, 1 NIC in the chicken LAN, and 1 NIC right connected to the connect-in internet. And that's just there for when the Jupe side of the network goes away.
It becomes the backup LAN port.
Yeah.
And that's the lay of the land. So you can kind of see the Odroid sits at the intersection of all of that. And then we've got stuff it's using systemd network D under the hood. Kind of learned a lot from building out Hadia's office network, right? So then we've got NF tables doing some of the basic masquerading and routing between things. And of course, that means we also put a little Home Assistant OS on there running in a virtual machine.
Yeah. And that is, one of the nice things about having the isolated chicken network is I don't have the 2 Home Assistant servers kind of conflicting, auto-discovering the same things, trying to take over the same remote speakers. They don't even really see each other. They're totally isolated.
Right. And so it works as basically the Home Assistant that's running on the Odroid is just bridged via a bridge that only has the chicken LAN NIC in it, which then goes and talks to the chicken LAN switch. And so its network is the chicken LAN.
Though the nice little piece of secret sauce that we came up with when we were napkining this out was Nebula, because then you also add the VM to the Nebula interface. And then I have a Nebula interface on my other systems. So even though they're on separate isolated networks, I still have a Nebula IP to get to the Home Assistant dashboard and all of that. Or anything I need, the Frigate, whatever it might be. So the Nebula piece, so it's totally isolated. The Nebula comes on, and the two systems I need to talk to each other can do it. It's great.
Yeah, and you do kind of have a layered approach here, right? Because just as like another access, we did end up, because the PepLink has this functionality, we did end up adding a static route. So like if you do want automated jobs or just to access something not via the Nebula mesh, you have direct access. Or if it wants to optimize and make sure it takes the fastest route.
Yeah, my Jupes default gateway has that now.
Yeah. So if you are hanging out in Jupes, when you want to just be able to SSH right over to the chicken land, the local infrastructure knows how to handle that. But at the same time, if that's not available, you
or
aren't all
mobile,
docked, you're
met
mobile.
the Studs.
Yeah, exactly. Then you always have the Nebula fallback or primary mesh network domain names and all that set up.
Yeah, all the name resolution still works. It's so nice. Wes did a lot of the heavy lift on the router config and the DNS config there. And it's one of those where we started early during Linux Fest and we got the initial stuff figured out. But then as time went on, the boys went home, everybody went to their back to their own places. And then I'm just sort of there doing all like the physical stuff. And because they can remote in, but yeah. So.
Well, yeah, right. Once Nebula's there, then I could go kind of get it back door into the system and go poke with things. Mm-hmm. And it's not that crazy, right? Because a lot of it was just, like you were saying, kind of have the right appropriate network segregation sort of for defaults and what's going to be on the real networks on both sides.
Yep.
And then make sure you have like the flat mesh view where you need for all the admin and automation stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It did mean, though, like anything networking level that we had to test, I was always like,
You were, yeah. Well, there might have been a few times where I was like, hey, Chris, can you reboot that? Because I can't get back in.
Hence the nano KVM.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so did you actually, if all of this works?
Well, we did an initial test as we were building it out.
Yeah. Yeah. That worked.
Yeah, it did.
That initial test, that one definitely worked. But then I thought, well, the right thing to do would be to test it now before the show.
Right. You need like a real test now that because a lot has changed. Like, had to go back in the box several times and mess around with things.
Got to make sure it works, right? So I replicated Jupe's quote unquote leaving, right? I went over and I disconnected the Ethernet cable from Jupes and wanted to see what happened.
Okay, the job's not finished until we do a failover test. So I am on the Henternet, which is the Wi-Fi for the chicken coop, and I'm going to disconnect the Lady Jupes Ethernet line. And then the system should fall over to the backup internet. Okay, Lady Jupes internet line disconnected. Okay, we do have Nextcloud's asking me to log in. Go away, Nextcloud, not right now. Uh-oh, Wes. The pings are not continuing. Oh no, we may have more work to do. Of course, it worked in testing.
It was one of those things too. I was like, oh, what did we do wrong? And it kind of occurred to me afterwards, like, and you picked up on it. You hinted at it earlier when we had tested. We were just, all right, well, we'll disconnect the Ethernet from the NIC on the back of the
Because we were kind of thinking through, like, you would have sort of like a launch procedure, right? Like, a disconnect before you, like, sort of take Jupes away.
Yeah, like a checklist. And one of the things, I just unplugged it. And then, like we mentioned, we decided later on to introduce the switch. So the problem is with the switch now between the Odroid and the Jupes network, the switch provides an active link. So the kernel isn't detecting link down.
Yeah, and before, we could kind of set things up with different routing priorities, and so it would just prefer to go out that link if it was available, and if we took the cable out, the link would go down, and the kernel would just handle it.
Which would still work if I hadn't introduced the fancy switch. That would have worked. And it, so if you don't need a fancy boy switch, then this part would have worked. We're just relying on link down default routing priorities. However, we had to come up with a bit of a solution.
Yeah. How about a fun new sidecar?
Of course.
Daemon.
Yeah, man.
So the basic idea, right, is we have two potential routes, or at least, in theory at most. And so we have the preferred primary out through Jupes and Starlink. And so the daemon can sit and ping that way and go check to see if connectivity is actually working.
Yeah, it's just a basic ping.
Yeah. And then if not, under, sort of configurable conditions, you can choose how many times does it have to fail over what kind of period or whatever. Mm-hmm. If it can't actually get to the internet that way, it will automatically go bump the priority of the backup WAN route so that it automatically handles that and goes out the connectin. But that's not it, because what happens if Jupe shows back up, or, you know, the Starlink outage goes away, or whatever it is? It also does, after 4 successful primary probes trying to go check back out the Starlink route, if it's like, oh yes, it seems like safely, we've got like solid connection back on the primary side, it removes the managed backup route that we added, and things fall back to the standard steady state.
That was the hope. So we put it to the
That's
test.
the plan, yeah.
Okay, so round 2, I've got the ping going, and I am going to disconnect the Jupe's Ethernet line from the switch. All right, so we've disconnected the Ethernet line from the switch, and as expected, our ping has stopped. Now, what I realized last time is that I may actually have to initiate a new ping, because I'm not doing like super fancy traffic management. I'm just switching default routes and stuff. So I think number 1 is it will interrupt an existing stream, but then if you restart, I think it'll work. Oh, look at that, it's working. Yes, it works. Well done. Okay, how about that, chicken? Yeah, you think so, boss? I agree. It's great, isn't it? There you go, chickens. You've got internet even when I leave.
They're pretty excited. I don't know if you could tell. They're pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. And also the kids have internet when I leave now, because they're old enough now where sometimes they don't want to go. And
I mean, it really kind of turns the whole barn setup into its own first-class entity.
it does. And it means we can run cameras around the property. It also means we can extend this out to the barn, because all of this was really just to build the infrastructure for the actual project. I want to take a moment and thank Connected Internet, promo code Jupiter35 to take $35 off your order. They hooked me up to try out the hardware, so I said, hey, I love it, and I'd like to tell the audience about it. This will probably be one of the last times I mention it, because they're not a sponsor, but it's a great thing they have going right now. $35 off your entire order when you use promo code Jupiter35. They have unlimited priority data. You got to pay a little bit extra, but I'm talking about the stuff that's like the business class that you don't get squashed. And they also have cheaper unlimited data if you're willing to live with just whatever the carrier wants to give you. But the thing that I think is really great about them is you just pay them a flat, reasonable rate, and they live on top of the 4 major carriers in the U.S. and Canada and auto-select between them for whatever has the best signal and data in your area. The other thing they've recently done is they've introduced a $39 a month plan, which is just for backup internet. Think about that. You want to do what I'm doing? $39 a month. You use it when it's online. Oh, except for they built in all the, if you want to use theirs, because there's like on OpenWRT, they built in all the auto switchover stuff. I'm not even kidding. Like, I finished this whole setup. We got all done like maybe 2 weeks ago or something. And then they released this. And now you can just get it. And it's $39 a month. You get the backup internet, and it comes with the OpenWRT device that just handles all of the failover, auto checking, health checking, all of it. It's pretty great. Or you can go with the thing I have, the big 7 antenna beast.
Ooh.
That we have up there on the barn roof now. So go to connectinternet.com. That's connectinternet.com. We'll have a link in the show notes. And the promo code is Jupiter35. Shout out to those guys.
My understanding is the Brent and Jeff installation is not included, though.
No, but highly recommended. Highly recommended. Brantley, you're moted.
I'm a professional. Well, now that it took a couple weeks for us to get the physical layer solved, with some trenches dug and roofs climbed and everything now failing over properly, it's time to get to the real project.
Oh, boys.
What was the real project again?
Getting the coop automated so nothing dies. We don't want anything to die.
Oh, right.
The coop, right, and the chickens. Yeah, okay, right. That was the premise.
Of course, the right thing to do is just automate everything as much as possible. And go shoot for a week, then go for 2 weeks, see how long I can keep going, push it out as far as I can. So you got to automate everything, which means you need a foundation, boys. A foundation of Home Assistant. And also Z-Wave. I'm going all in on Z-Wave with this setup using the Home Assistant Connect ZWA2, which is their big old antenna. It's a monster.
This is the alien sort of communications tech looking one.
Yeah, I think you could actually have a Z-Wave device in space and it would still communicate with this thing. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So
Did you climb the roof to put that up?
no, it's just sitting on top of the box with all its power.
Oh.
Super clean Home Assistant integration. So nice.
USB-C.
Yeah. Oh, it's easily flashable. The henhouse door is automated. It is called the Omelet Smart Wi-Fi door.
Love that name.
And you can use it to connect to Home Assistant using a community add-on. And I can open and close the henhouse door from Home Assistant. I can set timers.
And it's like a local, it's able to talk over the LAN?
Over the Wi-Fi, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you do have to go get an API key from them, but once you do that, you're doing it over the Wi-Fi. The other thing that's nice about it is you can just check the status. Yes, it closed. You know that they're in there. And whatnot.
Yes.
And then, of course, you want to control the environment because chickens that live in a comfortable environment with the right lighting produce more eggs. So this is where WLED, we've talked about it before, comes in. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful setup. Love this so much because I found the Meg WLED 1. Go buy it right now. Go buy this right now. It's $35 on the Jungle Web, US greenbacks. It is a generic, teensy tiny WLED controller. It comes pre-flash with WLED that you can update over the air, USB-C in, and then the WSB connector we all love for WLED.
Lego.
You don't have to solder anything. You don't have to clip anything. You don't even have to flash anything.
But it does support easy flashing with custom firmware.
It does. It does. I love this so much.
It does 5 volt and 12 volt.
So you can have 12 volt lights if you want. I'm going to buy a couple more of these before the show goes out because I don't want the audience to snatch them all up. I love it. I mean, because if you get that and a WS 281 2B LED light strip, you have a WLED light set up in 30 seconds.
That's pretty easy.
And then it puts out an AP, you get on your phone or whatever, you get on the AP, you add it to your regular network, and then 2 seconds later, Home Assistant detects it.
Because really that's been a lot of the pain in the past, right? Compared to other proprietary options is you had to sort of assemble it yourself and maybe you had to put some of it together and then you had to use the right software to control it. But that is kind of just 1, 2, 3.
So I have it going into about 160 LED light strip that runs along the top of the henhouse. And a little bit before, right as sunrise, actually, it comes on really light and it really dim, I should say. And it warms up and gets a little brighter during the day. It follows, the sunrise and the sunset. And it just provides them a little bit of extra light, especially in the fall and in the winter.
Do you have it synced up so like it plays a recording of your voice wishing them good morning?
I am thinking about working on something like that, actually. I just love it because it just ties in with everything I'm doing. It's extremely extensible and hackable. It's really an MVP for lighting. I'll have WLED all over this thing. And then for sensors, I think when you think sensors, I think you should plan for powered, consistently powered, because they're so much more useful when they're consistently powered. Now, what I'm going to mention does support battery, and I have used them in battery capacity. But when you do that, they kind of check in every 15 minutes, every hour, then they sleep. But when you power them over USB, you can get second-to-second resolution. And the absolute MVP now of home sensors for price, functionality, reliability, and compatibility with Home Assistant is Zeus. Z-O-O-Z. They are officially a member of the Works with Home Assistant program. So you take this sensor out of the box, you add power, you tap a button, you put your Home Assistant in Z-Wave discovery mode. A second later, they're talking, you enter a PIN code, it's now paired. You now have motion, temperature, humidity, lux reading, all in one sensor up in the corner.
That's great.
Over Z-Wave, which then can be used to trigger things like smart plugs for heating and whatnot. And for that, I have another Zeus device that I want to recommend. This is the second Zeus device, and I think these are just absolutely wonderful. Now, it's not outdoor, so I have to weather protect it. But Zeus has a long-range Z-Wave power strip. Each individual plug shows up as an addressable plug in Home Assistant. There's 8 of them, including 2 USB ports that show up as addressable buttons. And there's physical controls on the power strip itself, as well as lights that indicate which port is active.
This is so cool.
So each one of those is now a smart switch. And so I can control heating, lighting, fans. I can reset the WLED controller, all of it, through this Zeus, Z-O-O-Z,
That's a nice touch.
Zen 20 800 LR. Oh, and it has energy monitoring. And that is really useful because one of the ways you can see, like, is the heater running?
Yeah, how much you drawing?
I see 400 watts is being pulled on that port. Yep, the heater is running. So that kind of stuff.
Great.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I recommend, although this is the hardest recommendation in terms of price, it's just difficult right now because some of the components have gone up in price. So this is really kind of buy it if you really need it. But if you really need it, you really need it. And it's from Apollo Automation, and it's called the Air One. And it's an air quality sensor that's really great at the base price of $110. If you're willing to spend $200, you can get it with the MICS 4514 gas sensor. That gas sensor is a CO2 sensor, a nitrogen dioxide sensor, an ammonia sensor, boys.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Methane, ethanol, and hydrogen as well. But yeah, ammonias, because, these chickens, they poop a lot. So now I have the ability to watch the ammonia levels in there.
And so you can get like a clean the hen house alert.
Yeah, basically, hey, you're overdue. The ammonia levels are getting bad. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. The other thing we'll be able to do is we'll be able to look in on them. So Frigate is the DVR we'll be using to record camera feeds. And I finally deployed my first, after all these years, PoE camera.
Congratulations.
It feels good.
Wow.
No more Wi-Fi for me. I can never go back. I have seen the light. And I got a cheap one. I'm happy with it. It's manually adjusted. It doesn't like auto pivot and things like that. But I bought myself the Armcrest 5 megapixel PoE camera. $62 on Amazon. I got it on sale, and I checked Camel. It's sometimes on sale for $46.
Ooh.
5 megapixel has great night vision, works out of the box with Frigate DVR, and super easy to pull into Go to RTC. And then you can share the camera feed with as many apps as you want. And you can have an IPTV app on your TV, which I do. You can have an IP camera app on your phone, which I do. You can send a feed to Frigate, which I do. You can pull it up in MPV on your desktop, which I do. And Go to RTC sits in front of all of it and proxies it all out. And the camera works, chef's kiss smooth, right over PoE. For $46, it's a slam dunk. I think there's better cameras out there for me, though. So I'd love recommendations for the audience, ones that have spotlights, ones that have actual motorized pivot.
Right, this one you can pivot yourself, but it isn't controllable remotely.
I think you'd enjoy this, like especially when you're out and about and Char's at home.
It's true, yeah.
These are great. Or for you, Brent, and the cats.
And a very reasonable price.
Also, I think this would be a great system if you ever wanted to have a security camera system for the van. When you're out boondocking and stuff, it can be nice. I love it. And I think Frigate doesn't get enough love in our community. It is a full-fledged camera DVR system that works great. And
then this is where where you put that coral to work, right? Doing object face detection, that kind of stuff. Yep.
I don't know. Maybe there's more I can do there too. I don't know.
Producer Jeff's going to be so proud of you. He's been talking about Frigate for years and trying to get us to do something with it.
It's been great.
Jeffley knows.
All these things really come down to, they sound like, they're nerdy and they're geeky, and that's true. And it has been a fun project, and I really do appreciate your boys' help. But it's actually about peace of mind. It's about the family wanting to check in on the chickens and know everything's okay. You hear a bunch of, like this happened just the other night, we heard a bunch of coyotes, and the wife's like, hey, can you just pull up the camera? Can we just see how the chickens are doing?
Totally.
And that has been great.
You're pulling it up on your TV, right?
We do.
Did you integrate like a channel yet? So that you could just flick to the channel?
All right, let me tell you what I did here real quick, okay?
All right.
Because everything's on the private chicken land. So my TV can't talk to the chicken land.
It's nice of you to respect the chicken's privacy.
I could, but yeah, they're on their own isolated land. So I once again deployed my old buddy Ngrok, and I set up some Ngrok tunnels that are for both the RTMP streams from Go to RTC and the Frigate dashboard. And then I set buttons on Home Assistant for the Chicken Coop Home Assistant, and I can tap a button and it turns on the Ngrok tunnel with a default of 2 hours, but I have a little slider there.
Nice.
So I could, 10 minutes, 24 hours, slide it. Right, slide it. I hit the button, I get the tunnel, and then the second the tunnel comes up, all of the apps start working. And it doesn't matter if you're on the public cellular network, wherever you're at. And so what we like to do is I hit that for like an hour, and then as we're winding down for the evening, we pull up the camera feeds, and we watch the chickens kind of settle in, because they're so adorable settling in. And you like to see where they're sitting, because there's a whole pecking order.
Of course.
So you like to see where everybody ended up, and then you got to talk about it. Oh, look, Mel and Sue are over there, and Boss is sitting next to Blue tonight instead of Chief. Oh, a little development there. It's a big deal. And it's fun.
I like you have like the chicken channel.
Yeah. Yeah. I've actually thought about pulling in a dispatcher and then actually serving it up to the IPTV app.
I mean, why not?
But
Are you getting audio through that as well?
We do. Yeah. The Armcrest has a
that's
ridiculously powerful mic.
That's a nice touch.
You could hear people stepping around the coop outside, walking up to it. I mean, it's really powerful. Maybe too powerful because it clips too. But yeah, you get the audio feed. It's good, solid video. Even the night camera feed. And pulling all that in over the Engrok tunnel is really fun because when we're out and about, it's like, oh, let's check in on the chickens. Let's see what they're doing. You just get that peace of mind. So then later on, you extend that out. When you're on a vacation for a week,
you can still check in.
You're really going to appreciate that. And like you can see, okay, I see the door closed. I see the watering and the feeding kicked off. Okay, yep. I can check on the camera. I can see they're eating the food, right? You
can see that the ammonia levels are healthy and normal.
Right. And then you extend that out to the garden. Or the fact that, the kids have infrastructure and that their things are working because it's monitoring all of that. I'm having all that monitored now. It's not just about the chickens. It turned out to be like a farm infrastructure project that I didn't see coming. And I feel like we'll be redefining how I do my networking probably for a while now. Because the idea has always been the infrastructure is built around Jupes.
Yeah, now it's totally switching.
Yeah.
Now you got this permanent infrastructure, and Jupes is just coming and going.
And it's all outdoors. It's weird. It's weird.
You mentioned how you tend to iterate on these things, and we had way too many napkins, and I'm glad we finally started implementing. But do you think this will evolve, or is this feeling pretty stable now?
I think there's going to be a few more additions. I think I'd really like to dial in more stuff with Frigate, detecting different events with Frigate. I still have automation to do for all of the kids. They all need lighting, heating, cooling. All their stuff needs automation. And then ultimately, I have to figure out additional storage for Frigate. I have to get that done. And I could see over time, maybe it makes sense that the Starlink is connected to the farm network and Jupes. I could see shifting that kind of stuff. Or does it make...
wow.
Maybe the NAS is no longer in Jupes. Maybe the NAS is at the farm, and then I could go to Spinning Rust, and I could get a lot more storage since I'm not on solid state. And maybe what stays in Jupes is I go back to the local cache idea, where it's like I cache a couple of shows. Because if over time, I've kind of just everything's in Jupes now. But I could go back to that maybe. I don't know. I'm just feeling like, because I haven't had permanent infrastructure.
Suddenly you're going to have like
for years.
Chicken jellyfin.
Yeah. Oh, that could be fun of Frigate highlights. But, I've been building around the idea of keeping everything compact, mobile, low power. And all of a sudden I have a permanent power line and a permanent internet connection.
This is getting weird.
And it's like, I could actually just have infrastructure.
I haven't seen any bricks, but I definitely see sticks.
So it's a big project. So yes, Brent, I think the project continues.
Great to hear.
I want to take a moment and thank our members. Normally we would have an ad right here, but they don't seem to be too interested in Linux podcasts these days. So it went the way of the Linux magazines, but our members keep us going. linuxunplugged.com/membership or jupiter.party. New perks coming soon. Plus, I think the bootleg this week might be worth the price of admission. We got some great Linus clips and additional context and tour about the farm, additional gear and all of that as well. So thank you very much to our members for making this possible. We really do appreciate you. Again, that's linuxunplugged.com/membership or jupiter.party for all the shows and all the special features. And of course, thank you to our boosters who make this possible as well. We did get some great emails this week, but we were running long, so I think we will probably sit on those. We'll see. But we did get some. We have been reading them, and thank you, everybody. So, Brentley, with that said, do you want to kick us off with our first boost?
And now it is time for Le Boost.
Well, we have a baller here of Jackie, who sent in 3 boosts for a total of 196,000 Satoshis.
Hey, yes,
I'm
sir.
in.
Yes, sir. That is a great one. Thank you.
Greetings again. Please consider this a 3-week combined boost because I should have boosted the past 2 weeks. And with this boost, I would like to announce 3 of my new projects. Number 1, Hyper DHT.
Okay.
It's a P2P protocol reimplementation in C++, basically reverse engineered from a wire compatible. It's wire compatible with JavaScript.
Java.
Java.
All right, so that's number 1, and that is,
Brent's
again,
more of a VB script guy, so he's not familiar.
Hyper DHT P2P. And then there's a number 2. Brantley, there's a number 2.
There is a number 2. Number 2, No Spoon.
No spoon.
P2P VPN.
Yeah, what you have to remember, Brent, is there is no spoon.
There is no spoon.
You have to remember. We'll put links to those in the show notes. Thank you, Jack. It's good to hear from you. Appreciate the boost. Daja comes in with 38,394 Satoshi.
I hoard that which your kind covet.
One last AI boost. Sorry. Should I start from the bottom? Oh,
That's a
my
good question.
goodness.
Oh.
One
There's a
sad
couple
thing
big
about
ones.
politicizing all this AI is that so many people put themselves in the AI good, AI bad camp. When it's not really both. It's not really good. It's not really bad. It's not a blanket one way or the other. I really appreciate JB's nuance here. Brandon Sanderson has a really good keynote called We Are the Art, and I think it hits it really well. All this AI bootlicking reminds me of the yearly Hacktoberfest drama that reached to 11, that ratcheted to 11. We've rallied so long on a base level of quality being baked by virtue of learning of Everett Curve. And Vault Warden, for me, over here, I found that it has the wife approval factor.
All right.
That is good to know. I also used it to force myself to learn a practice proper backups for Home Assistant. Been running 6 years with 0 fire drills and 4 nines.
Nicely
Drills.
done.
Bitwarden goes proper
nice.
south. Bitwarden is a feasible option. And one last boost. That's all right. Don't worry about it, Dasha. I found myself treating AI contributions as they came from another person is really helpful. Because I vibe coded or AI assisted something doesn't mean it's exempt from my normal review process.
Well said.
I give the agent's PR the same scrutiny and feedback I do one of my junior devs, and the amount of slop decreases by an order of magnitude. Whether it helps my juniors write less slop or causes my seniors to produce more slop, well, that says more about them and the person.
A nice perspective.
I think that's very insightful. I know, Wes, you kind of follow a very same kind of thing. It's, you got to review it like it's a contribution that just needs review like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it speaks to a lot of this comes down to people think that it's a matter of I speak to the machine and it creates thing, but it really is a tool that has nuance, that has practices that are going to screw you up or going to serve you better, and it's just something
Right.
people have to learn.
And you know how much you actually stay engaged can determine whether you have a good time or a bad time or just make a big mess.
Yeah, and if you're willing to keep evolving how you work,
Right.
which
As Linus was talking about.
Linus was talking about in
pre-show.
our member pre-show, it's the more painful aspect of the process.
Well, our buddy Derivation Dingus boosts in with 22,222 sats.
Things are looking up for old McDuck.
I'm still on Bitwarden, and it's been bugging me, but I haven't found a better option. I'll probably spin up Vault Warden, at least as a backup. My real gripe, though, is with the client UIs. They keep making changes that just make it worse.
I agree.
And just reverted one right after I finally adjusted to it.
You're talking about the autofill thing, aren't you?
I think so.
Because and then they went back, and I was like, is this like, am I daydreaming that this changed? Like I felt gaslit a little bit. Ghostlit. I felt ghostlit.
I used to love Bitwarden, but between this stuff and the recent security issues, it's slowly eroding my confidence and think that they can keep shipping a product I want to pay for. I'd love to hear more about what others are thinking.
Yeah, boy.
Well said.
That's just I think that's a little bit more than where I'm at, but it's pretty close to where that's where I'm at. Pretty
You do
close.
worry, sometimes UI changes like that can be a symptom of sort of, checkmark-based development and or product launching. Not always,
Can be though.
Can be, though.
Yeah.
That's just, I don't know if it's for sure what's happening. Wait and see.
Jace Neville boosted in 2,000 sats.
Use the boots to get through.
Long-time listener, but first-time booster.
Hey, thank you.
We sure appreciate it.
That's awesome. I just wanted to chime in and say on the AI-assisted coding that I'm a huge proponent of using these tools to yourself. I'm someone who has bounced off coding probably 50 times, but now I'm able to self-direct different apps and tools for myself using markdown files and carefully constructed constraints.
Oh, he says something that, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but this is something that I've been thinking about. He just put my thoughts into words. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just got excited.
Okay, good. He continues, I know how to manage people by trade, and I know a computer can do anything you tell it to do. You just have to know how to communicate it.
This is the thing, is I think what's melting people's brains that have been in development for a long time, like our buddy Wes here, although he gets a little triggered by my slop sometimes. Because, it's a real skill set that took you a long time to conquer and master a language. And then somebody comes along that knows how to manage projects, specs, tasks, and people can get a lot further than they could even 6 months ago. And they didn't have to spend years learning how to write Zig or whatever, right? And I think that's a weird cultural shift we're going through. And it's one of the skills you need to do this right is a bit of a management skill on task management and how to break it up and how to divvy it out and things like that. And
although I would say, actually, I don't mind the part about skipping the language part. I would say it's the part that
practices?
No, it's more that. I would say managing people and managing a project are not the same.
Yeah.
And so I think some of the weaker parts that people have to learn when they come to vibe coding is like you can discover your way to a lot of architecture that will work, but that can also cause problems. And so if you don't learn some amount of understanding the trade-offs early enough on, you can still have issues.
Well, I think that is going to be the big gap. But I think that's also just an approach. There is a kind of, learning by doing, digging your way through, that screwed up. Now I got to fix this. And it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
And it's a lot messier.
Well, I mean,
but that's
iteration and trying things is the only way to learn.
It's true. Yeah.
But I do think there is a lot to, you just have to know how to communicate it. I think one of the more exciting things in all of this is, regardless of how the discussion you want to have around review and what you declare prod worthy or not and all of that side of the conversation.
Yeah.
The ability to quickly summon forth software to test things and to prototype and to understand sort of what is possible.
Or when you're learning, review a project and ask it questions about that project, like, why does it work like this? How does that work? And just use it as...
Yeah, and test theories, right? Make a change and see, does it do the thing that you thought? Does that jive with your own understanding?
I think, though, that people that lack proper project management and documentation skills and, get best practices and things like that, they're going to have a harder time as the project gets beyond just like a handy script or a quick vibe code. And when it gets into something that's a little bit larger, that maybe has a front end and a back end and maybe has to interface with a few services and maybe is going to be user facing, starts to get a little bit more of an actual project that you need to know how to manage. And that's a skill set in itself.
Especially maybe if it evolves from, I think the more it's easy to quickly do output testing of it, right? If it's a tool you use all the time that you can quickly tell if it isn't working for you and keep tweaking on, that is a really easy way to do it. If it's like a complicated distributed system, keeping
maybe
track of
parts you don't even use yourself.
Right. Yeah. And that you don't have a full eyes on and that needs to keep like certain invariants, maybe it's keeping track of money or something. That way, maybe you want, there's different ways to set it up to have success. And this is all stuff we're all still figuring out, right? That's a big part of this.
And there's going to be parts that don't work. Am I up next? I lost track. I'll take it next.
It's Wes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it is you. No, it is you. Sorry.
Zack Attack's here with a bunch of sticks, a satchel of Richards, 11,111 sats. Thank you for reading my email last week regarding Bitwarden. Also, I did appreciate your coverage of Red Hat Summit because I can't make it to those. I wanted to ask you and the audience, has anyone spun up their own ELK stack? Elasticsearch, Kibana, and Logstash. But Kibana, and Logstash. And what is the easiest and quickest way to do that? I'm also really curious on how you set up your agentic AI stack, as that's something I need to look at.
But we have a stream for you.
Zack Attack,
Yes,
join
we
us
do.
on the Friday stream this next Friday. We're going to have a good little conversation on that. Boy, Elasticsearch.
Yeah, so there's a lot of options there. It kind of depends. Like do you need that exact stack? There are also now, other versions of it that do kind of the same idea. Of course, there's Docker Compose is one easy route. There's also NixOS modules for those. So it might depend a bit on what underlying sort of orchestration technologies you prefer or are familiar with.
That's got to be the answer, really.
But definitely there's some Compose files out there you could use as a starting point if you just want to, start playing with them and be able to tie them together. Because a lot of that is just making sure you can do the full thing, right?
That seems the easiest way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, if your main goal is just to learn that stack and be able to work with it, then
Just do that.
it's probably going to steer you all right. Good luck. Let us know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Bun boosts in 2,291 sats. I haven't considered moving from Bitwarden since I moved from LastPass years ago.
Yeah.
The service has been great, and I'm still happy with the price even after the increase.
Oh, that's good. All right. Good to hear. Thank you, Bun. It's good feedback.
Yeah, it hasn't failed me yet in that sense. Like, it's still working reliably. We'll see.
At what point, like, what does it take for you to switch?
It's a good question.
Probably one more screw up. Hopefully it's not a bad one.
Right.
Damn it.
Backups. Ed Bratton boosted in 3,456 Satoshis. My preferred password manager is Proton Pass.
Ah, sure. Another plug for Proton Pass. You like to see it. Thank you, Ed. Your inner child comes in with 2001 Satoshis. 2001 Space Odyssey boost. Oh, we need that. We need
The
like
HAL
a
boost.
I can't do that, Dave, or something. Have you guys come across a rotary subwoofer in your journeys? It can hit 1 hertz.
Woo.
Whoa. I know Chris had his ultimate home theater in that one video. I need a part 3. Well, I can't even remember what video he's talking about. Although I do like the home theater. It's not the most banging setup I've ever had. That sounds like you would break stuff. It reminds me of that scene in Back to the Future when Marty turns the speaker all the way up and then blows it out.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm picturing right now.
Or it's like some sort of deep tissue massage.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome. Thanks, Inner Child. Appreciate it.
Bit Cryptic boosts in with 4,096 sats. To answer Chris's question on our MDF proposal, I think this was a boost from last week. Same URL, agent sends accept text/markdown, gets clean markdown back. So this is the like markdown version of the internet.
Yeah.
No scraping, no HTML parsing. Access policy is expressed through price. Free content serves immediately. Premium content triggers a lightning invoice via L402.
Okay.
1 sat to $100, same mechanism. Reference server is a self-hostable Docker image. Price also gives content owners a natural lever for agent load. Charge a sat instead of getting hammered for free.
It's not a crazy idea. You can stream sats to podcasts and music, and you can zap posts on Nostr. Why can't you zap an API? Zap them 5 sats. I mean, we're not talking like a lot here. We're talking zap them a few sats, and then you get premium access to the API for however long they determine. No membership required, no monthly reoccurring charge.
I would zap for some articles from time to time for sure.
Yeah.
Ah.
There is Paper Query, which is sort of an open router that allows you to pay for your API access with sats. But this just seems like something that could be done if humanity could actually implement technology at scale at any time. I like the idea. Thanks, BitCryptic.
Eyes Noir boosted in 2,222 sats. And you know what that is?
Road
It's a Roadux. Regarding the AI vibe coding, it feels to me that the distinction between core contributors to a software using AI tools or random people submitting AI-written PRs is an important distinction. The latter is what would annoy people that are trying to maintain a project because AI might not know anything about that project. Personally, I'm not a programmer, but those tools help me write the code for some projects I need. I take care of figuring out the infrastructure and what and how the software works. AI writes the rest of the code that I don't know how to write.
So this, I think, is a pretty good point here, and something Linus made in our members show as well. There's also I always, when I say this stuff, I want to mention, I feel like there is the small open source project that's getting buried that just doesn't have access to API credits or some Google provided AI service, and they're just getting really a lot of the downsides. But Linus said something that sort of stuck with me, and that is that if you're using an AI vibe coding tool or whatever, you're Claude coding, and you discover a vulnerability, first of all, obviously you should not go just shouting about it. But it's probably safe to assume other people have discovered that vulnerability too. Maybe a lot of people have discovered that vulnerability. And so it's probably a good presumption to assume that vulnerability is already public, or it will be relatively soon. And then it's worth going to see if the project's getting slammed with issues about it or not.
And I think that applies too, to some extent, to some of the other things with like random PRs. Like if it's an obvious feature or just sort of like low-hanging fruit, like there are some things that the problem was just it needed to be implemented, but there's a lot of things that it's like no one's quite proposed the way that makes sense for the project yet, or what feels like the right long-term solution. And like a quick vibe code is probably not the thing that's going to hit on that, right? Because it wasn't just like implement this API with a clear contract. It's sort of debate internally what the right and propose something you think should be that contract, which probably takes a fairly deep understanding of like
history.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's probably very common. Yeah.
Adversary is 17 boosts in with 4,096 cents.
Yay!
He's a good guy.
He's a real good guy.
No, you're a great guy.
Still using Bitwarden. Highest spouse approval factor, and my company uses it, so I get a free family plan.
Oh, there's that.
That's hard to say no to.
There is that.
Great reasons.
Both of those are really good. Those are both really good.
Well, Genonymous boosted in 5,000 sats.
Well, I'll be dipped.
No message on this one, just a thanks. So I'll take this next one here from Magnolia Mayhem with 2,000 sats.
The heck?
It simply says, Boosty McBoost face.
Agreed.
Hard agree.
Yeah.
Same.
Profound. Thank you, everybody who boosted in, including those of you who streamed them sats. We do appreciate you. 18 of you did that, and collectively you stacked 16,932 Satoshis for this here show. When you combine that with our boosts, our grand total this episode, for episode 670 of your Value for Value Linux Unplugged podcast, is 322 Satoshis, 322,617 Satoshis. I'll get it eventually. Thank you, everybody who supports the show with a boost. We're pretty fond of it because there's no middleman. Like we had a web boost thing going for a little while that was a prototype thing that we were trying, and I hooked up to my PayPal. And now PayPal has shut down my account. And they want me to go through a 17-page long or 17 different document humiliation ritual to get access to the remaining funds in there. And I just, over the years, I've always discovered all these platforms suck. And so the nice thing about the boost is there's no middleman. It's a peer-to-peer network. And it's an open source system with an open source protocol and an open source money. And it goes automatically to each one of our wallets, including Editor Drew.
And when it's sent, it's sent.
It's done. And I don't have to go ask PayPal or anything like that. And I prefer it that way. But we also really appreciate our members who want to use their fiat and just put it on autopilot. We totally get that too. And that's also very doable. So thank you, everybody who supports the show, either through value, through time, or through your treasure. It makes all the difference, and it does indeed actually keep us going. We're not just saying that. We've been going since the beginning of the year, super lean on sponsors, and it makes all the difference. All right, how about I'm going to pick something that's a little bit of a broad category, because I think my official pick I already mentioned in the show, but this is something I think everybody should know about. Is the Home Assistant project has a certified Works with Home Assistant database. So you can go by connectivity type, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Matter, Z-Wave, Zigbee, etc. You do device type, lights, irrigation, camera, battery, sensor, air purifier, climate, all the different ones. And then also some additional secondary subtypes that you can do. And then what you'll get is an official, yes, it works with Home Assistant. These are the things that are known to work. These are the elements. This is the process you may or may not have to go through. And there is an extensive 378-page list with 25 entries on each page. They have really done amazing work over here. They say, welcome to the centralized list of Works with Home Assistant certified devices. Every product listed here has been rigorously tested by our team to ensure a great experience. And I will note, I have seen them kick people out of the program when they slip from the requirements.
Nice.
Nice.
That's what you want to see. It's
They're not-
It's a real standard.
They're not They're not.
I like that
screwing
it has the region search in here too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Also, I'm going to give one more honorable shout out to that Zeus outdoor smart plug. Game changer. Over-the-air firmware updates. Works with Z-Wave. So good. So good. So I had to put that in there too.
IP65.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if I would live on it, but it is IP65 rated. I have it inside a crate because it is a power outlet thing. You know, I just don't want that out. It doesn't have like caps. This is the different one. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Wes. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You were looking at it.
I was.
I didn't mention this in the show. I saved it, and I thought I had mentioned it.
I was wondering.
Too many great devices on this
Yeah,
project.
because this one does have a cap.
This one has the cap. This is the one that I feel safe. Thank you. This is the one I feel safe about actually putting outside. It is also a Zeus product, and it has a cap. It's designed to be outdoor, and this is what I use to do the smart lights in the barn.
Oh, okay.
Really nice. It has a button on it too, so if you want to manually activate it, you can. Designed for outdoor.
Wow, it looks actually quite nicely designed for an outdoor. Like really nice ceiling, and it's got a little whip cable on it and everything. It looks beefy.
Get Zeus, get ZOOZ.com. They have they just have so many good products, and they all work really good with Home Assistant. It's a real treat. So between the Home Assistant database and the Zeus products alone, strong recommend. Very much strong recommend. Like, you know, you want these things to work like infrastructure, as reliable as a light switch. That's my benchmark. If they fail that line, that's when I start to get upset. And so far, they have nailed that every single time. Pretty happy with it.
Well, Chris, we hinted at some heating issues that you were having in this V1 of your box.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, A, when are you going to solve that? Or do you need to solve it right away?
well-
And B, like, any ideas?
I think he was
Yeah.
planning to solve it after dropping the van tank.
Yeah, right. After we get here and get the van working, you're going to come install the fans. I think
okay, all right. I just gotta get a boat thing.
the fans are showing up during the show.
What?
They may be out on the porch right now.
Oh, that's exciting.
I cannot delay on this because even when it's an overcast day, the box is overheating. The Odroid, it's the NVMe. Everything else is fine, but the NVMe.
Have you considered trying to capture the heat to power a small motor?
How hot are we talking?
I think like 80 Celsius.
Oh, that's like double the recommended temperature for hard drives.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's not good.
Yeah,
That's
eventually it just
you
goes
could almost
offline.
boil water on that thing.
See what I'm saying?
Holy.
Yeah, you're right. I should capture that.
Just
it goes
put that
offline.
thing in the chicken coop. Keep those
I
chickens
know.
warm.
I know, really. Seriously. God. It's bad. All right. Also, I would love it if folks boosted in your outdoor Frigate-friendly cameras. Please send that in. I also think we should do another round of Nick's router configs.
Yeah, we should.
Just do a little compare and contrast, right? Do a little compare and contrast. See what you guys did versus what I did.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat station.
Make it a Linux Tuesday on a Sunday. Join us 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern over at jblive.tv. And if you want more show, remember, there's the Unplugged gets together every single Sunday. We got a banging quiet listening right now up there in that mumble room. And, of course, the chat room. It's really easy, and it's going all week long. And then it really starts popping Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Members, you get the full bootleg with twice the content. Clocking it at an hour 53 right now, and there's not a minute wasted in that hour 53, neither's. Tell you what. And of course, links to our Mumble Room, Matrix, everything we talked about today, that's at linuxunplugged.com. And Wes, transcript.
Oh, yeah, we have those.
Chapters.
Actually, too. Yeah, VTT, SRT, JSON.
Metadata, boy. Woo, get you some. Thanks for joining us.
XML in the feed itself, yeah.
See you next week. Get your feed.
I love feed.
Whew. Feels like I was extracting milk there from my knee. All right,
you,
I'll stop.
You do want to pasteurize that knee milk.
Yeah, you do. You do. You don't want to be drinking it once it gets gross. That's a little bit much. All right. Are we ready? Is it time?
Oh,
Do we want to begin the process of the title?
Do we have proper music?
I mean,
I have
if
a question
we have
before
title.
you do that.
Yeah. Before we unleash the titles, we can.
What do the chickens think of this new setup and the whole networking and all that? Are they
Excited,
thankful?
indifferent?
I mean, you heard Boss's review.
That's true.
He's
That sounds
excited.
pretty good.
He's excited about it, so
All right.
I think it's a good sign.
Now, does he have access to sort of watch over the hen via the camera?
The boss dashboard.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I would like to know if you can get the point where Frigate can individually identify them.
That'd be amazing.
Boss is here. Yeah.
All right, are the titles
Literally.
being unleashed? Do we have titles?
Yeah,
working on it.
Meg's on it.
Working on it. Okay, here they come. All right, get in our chat room.
Bite. Peeping fan of the chicken land.
Begin boating. Wow, I'm surprised that's the first time I got the DM bing. Good restraint, everybody. All right, get in there and get boating. Here we go. Reverse Brentley is clever.
It's going to be hard to beat that.
But that was pre-show.
Reverse poultry.
Yeah.
Reverse poultry.
Barnyards with Brent West.
Well, I'm trying
I
to
don't know,
pivot
like, a
you
lot
out
of
of
this-
the brunch zone because it's legally contentious.
A lot of this couldn't have happened without Jeff and Jason.
Yeah.
I
It's a
didn't,
shame they
for
couldn't make
once,
it.
Need to be on the roof, you know.
I wish PJ could have made it.
Yeah.
We miss you, PJ. We miss you
true.
too, Jason. Yaml in the hen house.
Operation Barn Scale.
You know, we scaled the network and we scaled the barn.
The little network that could. That's cute. You're on fire today, Wes.
Yeah.
NixOS rebuild hatch.
Chicken land.
You know, we didn't really get into it, but I feel like there was a bit of a craftsman to it all as well. Like the config, it's it's nice, it's well done. Like it took time. We took our time to get it done right.
Lean, mean. Not a lot of bloat.
No crazy.
That's the nice part about doing a bunch of the NixOS stuff already. Didn't have to like fuck with the
Yep.
You solve
too
it
much
once
of the
and you just
config.
deploy again, right?
There's chickens in that nebula. That's funny.
That's very funny. I mean, it was just yesterday. Chris and I were both deploying things at the same time, not to this system, but for something else. And
Yeah.
NixOS just makes it so
It
much.
handles it. It's like, oh, I see there's an active. Okay, I'll just check this out and I'll avoid that and I won't touch that and I'll just build this. It's like, wow, you just figured that out. Good job.
You guys realize that we're at the point where NixOS is just an implementation detail?
Oh,
it
it's-
used to be such like
Maybe
big
though the most
thing.
important one. Maybe
Well,
the
fair.
most important because it really is the guardrails these things need. And one of the things I think we should talk about is simple Nix wrappers. Very basic concept, but very powerful thing when working with agents that I think are key to as a quote unquote safe agent operations.
And you can really turn a script from something that is like an ad hoc throwaway thing into a declared part of your infrastructure that you can
Declared
rely
is the
rely
important
on.
part. Yes. which makes it easy to update when the tool changes and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I also like Rooster approved. There's chickens in that nebula. System D, Chicken D. God damn, Wes. Chicken Nebula Sidecar Demon, also good mini mech. Chicken Ping, Wes. Ping.frigate.chicken. That is actually the host name, is frigate.chicken.
I was going for real world.
Go to chicken. Wow. Damn, dude.
Well, it helped that we did it in segments, so I had some time to think.
That's true.
I only submitted one title because I have a bit of a confession.
Oh, yeah? What was that?
I was installing Nix on a ThinkPad yoga during the show.
Amazing. Oh, a yoga,
It was for my niece has a birthday, and that's going to be her gift.
Oh, that's great.
An old yoga that, like, you know, has a, it flips, like it's an all-in-one, so it flips back, and it has a little, what the heck, the pen that you can use
sure, stylus kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, but the laptop's old enough now that, like, all that stuff just works in Linux. It's
that is true, yeah. Stuff that, like, when the yoga shipped was like, good luck.
Yeah, so...
Chicken Man setup land.
Installing Linux, especially NextOS, is so easy. I could just like do it during the show without issue. It's unbelievable.
That's a clucking good network.
I love where we are currently.
I know. A clucking good network.
It is a clucking good network.
That's good, Meg.
Sponsored by Popeyes.
We got. You know, we should do.
There's a farm hack website.
Chicken shows more often. It's easy to make titles.
Riz, I mean, this was me documenting it, to tell you the truth. Riz says I should put this on farm hack websites. I didn't even know that was a thing. I feel like farm life is so less glorious than people make it seem. It's like it's a lot of mess.
Oh, remember,
and diesel and dirt and animals. Like I just came across, I don't know, 15 snakes yesterday. I didn't even know I've been on this property for like a year. I didn't even know we had a colony of snakes.
Well, remember all the romanticism and the excitement around owning and operating a small business? It seems like it might be kind of like that.
The hardest version of a small business. Jeez, I tell you what. God. It's unbelievable. And it's the craziest shit. Like, oh, okay, well, this morning we're waking up to the sound of a tractor. Or,
all your inputs and outputs decay.
Like, how do I live on a property for a year and not discover there's rats? And then I put chickens out and I'm like, oh, shit, we have rats? I didn't know that.
Clearly, you need bigger snakes that can get the...
I know.
Or cats.
All right, so I think our titles have trickled in. 36.
Do we have any clustering? Ooh, 7 on... There's chickens in that nebula.
Okay.
You mean that's a pretty clustering, right?
There's chickens in that nebula is a strong contender.
The little network that could has 5.
Like that? Okay, that's good too.
Second. And we have a lot of 3s. A lot of 3s around here.
Does anybody want to try to consolidate up?
Yeah, a little consolidation round.
I think we should do a little console round. What do you think?
Do a few corporate acquisitions.
Yep.
Restructure some properties.
All right.
Stock buybacks. That's going to happen.
I see my loss.
Who's taking care of that?
Make it.
Oh, what was it? You can always toss it in now. We can still give it a thumb.
It is added peeping fan of the chicken.land.
Hen tested, rooster approved.
That's good.
Some real fire this week. Is that a good sign that it was a good show? Or maybe.
Hopefully.
Snakes are good luck, really?
The more I know.
I mean, tell yourself whatever you need to accept them.
They are pretty cool.
I sent Wes a photo of them.
Are we re-voting? Is someone? Am I supposed to send them?
Yeah,
you're voting.
You're supposed to be vote consolidating.
Well, I'm checking out all the farm photos people are posting.
Look at my snakes. Look at my snakes. That's one of the batch. So they were coming. So we had a massive rainstorm, torrential, and then one of many actually. This is one of the first ones. And then afterwards, the sun came out, and the piles of hay and stuff on the ground started steaming, and snakes just started coming out of the woodwork and getting on top of it and basically like heat soaking themselves. And I had no idea we had snakes.
Dry off.
And I thought somebody was vaping. I thought somebody was on the farm vaping because I saw these steam clouds coming up. I'm like, I'm going to go figure out what's over there. And in my pursuit to figure out what it was, I disturbed a nest of them or whatever you call this, and they all scattered off. And then I came around the corner and I found another. It's crazy. There's a whole snake colony I didn't even know about. Now, how do I get them to eat the snakes or the rats? How do I get that to work? You know, like.
How have we been here for over, what is it, almost a year now? And I've never seen this.
Consolidate your boats.
We need consolidation.
Look at this. They're just chilling. In fact, this grass is steaming. That's why I came out here, because it was steaming. And they're just out here chilling in the sun after a rain.
They look cozy.
They do.
Those cold-blooded creatures.
They're another
huge.
batch. Just over there.
They're like a meter long.
This is crazy.
Oops, I gave away.
They don't. I mean, they don't like me, but they don't seem to mind me.
How many liters do you think?
They let me get pretty close because they wanted to get warm.
Human, do you have warmth? You are warm-blooded. We are not. Save us, human.
That's at least 450 liters of snake there.
All right, do we get boat consolidation? Do we have our boat consolidation?
Save us,
Yes.
chat room.
We did?
You're our only hope.
I'm scrolling.
Well, we have a warden.
No, you're way too high up there, Chris. Right?
Am I?
It's like the second
No,
last message.
Oh, okay. There's Chickens in that Nebula has 3. Cluckin' Good Network
3
has
copies.
2. And YAML has... All right. So I'm going to go behind Chickens in that Nebula then. So now it's got 4 coffees. I feel like that's fitting, boys. I like
Now, what
that.
kind of roast are these coffees?
Ooh. It's a
I'm more of a light roast guy.
classic
I think,
Janeway
lately.
roast.
Coffee in that nebula.
I haven't watched a Voyager for a bit.
We can get her to say chickens, right?
That is what have we sampled Janeway's voice?
No, I don't think so.
I would love to have my news read by Janeway. Screw Walt.
Hey.
No, Walt's been good. I don't mean it. I love Walt. All right. I think we've done our duty, boys. Oh, geez, we're over 2 hours. We better get this turned around for Drew.
Oh, gosh.
He needs his flags.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Flag.
Mumble Room, thank you very much for chilling with us, boys. Appreciate you.
Pleasure.
Have a good rest of your Sunday.
Fun as always.
Hope to see you next time. Oh, and Friday. Join us Friday for the
Yeah,
stream.
come hang out.
We'll have the
Join
Mumble
us
Room
Friday.
going.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Bring your fun quotes about dumb stuff your bot
on
says.
Friday?
So Friday, I'll give a plug for it. We are doing a little agent chat about our setups. I'm going to train my agents to manage a Home Assistant system. And then we'll kind of go over some of the tools we use to actually make them work and not screw up all the time. And then do a Q&A. So it's 2 p.m. Pacific, 1900 UTC, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, that will be in the calendar too. So I remind that.
Yep, it's on the calendar.
I will be reminded. Okay, cool.
Love to see you. All right.
And I bought some items for using it with my Home Assistant. So maybe next week or in 2 weeks, I have some updates on the new IR updates of Home Assistant.
Oh, yeah, I would love that. Very much interested in that.
Yeah, because I've got a water air cooler in my room. I just bought a new fan that only has IR controls. My infrared heater panel has infrared and Tuya, but the Tuya integration works for shit. So I'm going full infrared with it.
Yes.
But that means that in one room I have like 4 devices begging me to control them with IR. So I'm going to test that things.
Awesome.
And also the most IR blasters are an ESP 32 or an 8266 based thing.
Or you could make one.
Be really easy.
Yeah. You could easily make one up based on ESP.
We almost did that for the diesel heater.
Yep. And since we've done that work, Home Assistant has done a bunch with IR, so I'm very curious by it. So yeah, do let us know. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
All right, gents. Thanks up there in the quiet listening too. Appreciate you all. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Take it off. Anybody has an issue, Brent at JupiterBroadcasting.com.
Take a nap. You've earned it.
Yeah, definitely.
You did a lot today.
Indeed. Also, thanks for watching live. If you tuned in, and especially if you got in the chat room, always appreciate you. And a big thank you to our members for making this possible. We love you guys very much. Not just making it possible, but for keeping us going. I'm going to leave you with a special song that I created. It's a remix of, a song you may have heard earlier. And hope you like it. Got to find it first, because I actually don't remember where I put it. There we go. All right, that's it. So thank you, members. Appreciate you very much, and hope to see you on the live stream. And if not, we'll have a recording for you. We'll see you next time.
Old McChris runs the farm now.
Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey.
crickets in the hen house.
Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey.
Barn lights blinking, chickens squawk. Linux routers never talk, but when the coop comes on the land, everybody claps their hands.
Cluck, cluck, ping, ping.
Hear that little server sing.
Blink, blink, route, route.
Jupes can leave and traffic gets out.
McChris built a box out there.
Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey. Oh, droid humming in the air.
Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey. Switches stacked and cables run. Nano VM for when things get fun. Fan kicks on when the temps get mean. Cleanest barn rack you've ever seen.
Cluck, cluck, ping, ping. Hear that little server sing.
Blink, blink, route, route.
Jupes can leave and traffic gets out.
McChris gave the coop a name.
Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey. Top chicken is the DNS game.
Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey. Hi-oh, Sansor's Frigate seas. Go to Earthsea streams with ease. Coral crunches through the night. Every hen is framed just right.
Cluck, cluck, ping, ping. Hear that little server sing.
Blink, blink, route, route.
Jupes can leave and traffic gets out.
McChris wired the smart door too.
Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey.
Home assistant knows what to do.
Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey. Lights come up when the daylight fades. Sensors watch the chicken parade. Temp and motion, lux and gas. Open source is watching grass.
Cluck, cluck, ping, ping.
Hear that little server sing.
Blink, blink, route, route.
Jupes can leave and traffic gets out.
McChris rolled the big rig out.
Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey.
Farm stayed online without a doubt.
Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey. Starlink on, connecting's live. Nebula keeps the mesh alive. Down the road but still in view, every little hen computes.
Cluck, cluck, ping, ping.
Hear that little server sing.
Blink, blink, route, route.
Jupes can leave and traffic gets out.
Well, I'm just gonna make a quick call to my launch. I haven't checked in since yesterday. 77446256667. That's it. All right. 77446256667. Call now.